All right, 1, 2, 3. We are getting going, everybody. So, Obia, we're just getting a stream up and running, folks. So, we're going to get this show going. Move my phone out of the way. Hello, everybody. So, let me just adjust my setup just so we're all nice and happy. So, all right, everybody, here's what's going to be happening. So, we're going to be on stream for probably a good while this evening. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be working on a custom commissioned Alps build. So we're going to be going with some orange Alps. So this build is going to get built pretty much tonight. So here's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be working with a GeonWorks Frog TKL. So that's what we're going to be working on first. So this is an interesting build. The client reached out. This is an interesting client. They reached out to me earlier this week, and they wanted, at first wanted a green Alps build, which is really cool. So they wanted to build that in a Geon F1 8X. So we kind of talked business. We figured out numbers, and then the client wanted was cool with everything. So what we then did is I placed all the order for all the internal parts, and then the client tracked down a Geon F1 8X, the colorway they want, and they're mailing that to me. So it's gonna take time, but then the following day the client said, "Hey, would you be willing to do a second commission build?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, let's do it." So they told me they wanted a build that's in the TKL form factor based around Orange Alps, and they wanted a Frog TKL. And I told them, like, hey, I could build this one like tomorrow because I have all the parts on hand for a build like that. So this is going to be a little bit longer than the stream that we did this morning. This morning we were on stream with Divinity building. Yeah, I'm doing 2 streams in a day. This is an unexpected stream. I wasn't expecting to do a second stream, but this one kind of popped up yesterday. So we're working on a client commission build today. So this is a build I am not keeping. This is for a client, which is really cool. So we're doing an Orange Alps Frog TKL. The client is actually commissioning 2 builds with me. So we're going to be on here. This is going to be a little bit of a longer one. So we'll probably be on here maybe 2, maybe even 3 hours because Alps builds are a little more involved. So we're going to be doing a silver. Okay, funny thing about this PCB. So this is a flex cut PCB. So there are a ton of flex cuts. One thing that is interesting about this particular build, this PCB, this is a prototype TKL PCB from Karolus. This is part of it. This was the prototype for his production run of Alps TKL PCBs that he just got in stock. So there aren't that many of these out there. So like, for example, Naveed's build that I sent him, he had his build built with this special PCB. So this is a really special PCB. I had it on hand. So I decided we're going to build. The client is cool with that. But honestly, these flex cuts really aren't going to matter. When this board is put together with the aluminum plate and the switches, there is no flex to this PCB. So this is going to be a very rigid, very stiff build. So the first thing, and so what we got to do, so we got silver TKL, we got the Karolus TKL PCB, we have our Orange Alps. We're going with an aluminum plate. So we have a Frog TKL aluminum plate from Tom over at Hype Keyboards. So you're absolutely right, my man. But again, this is the PCB that we have on file. This is the PCB that we have on hand. The client was cool with it. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. If we're really getting particular, but this is what we're going for the client. This is not for me. Just kind of FYI. Dampen switches, and then we're also going with a Tai Hao set. So to kind of go with the silver aesthetic, we're going with Tai Hao white on black keycaps. These are really nice, kind of clean keycaps that from Tai Hao. So that was what the client wanted to go with. And then, of course, we're going to use, be using OG Alps stabilizers as well. So I'm going to put the case and the PCB and the keycaps to the side, and we're going to get the stabilizers too. And that's kind of how I like to start off with it. I completely agree with you. I'm not a fan of flex cuts either. In most cases, I try to avoid flex cuts. But in this particular case, the client was cool with it. So they were perfectly fine with it. So let me get my thing out there. So again, I didn't expect to do a second stream in one day, but I want to get this one out quickly to this client. So let me just kind of remove the sticker from Tom. and we'll get going. So really kind of good stuff right here. So yeah, so we're going to go with the plate. So what I like to do first, I always like to start off with tuning the stabilizers and getting the stabilizers installed. That's kind of my methodology for it. So these are Orange Alps. I have a metric crap ton of Orange Alps on hand. So it's one of my switch, an Alp switch that I really enjoy. Again, Orange Alps, my primary source getting them are from old Apple keyboards. Again, Apple M0115 or the Apple M0116 standard keyboard. That's kind of my favorite and cheapest method to get these. And these have all been restored. These have been ultrasonic cleaned. So these switches sound and feel really, really nice. So Orange Alps, great. So this is going to be like, I have two other commissions for two other clients that also are doing Orange Alps. But we're just kind of waiting on the parts to come in. So first things first, I want to figure out what I want to do stabilizer-wise, and then we're going to get it going. So I got some stabilizers that we're going to be doing. I got to get my lube out, because again, I don't want rattly stabilizers. Yes, this is a Karolus logo. So this is a plate that was designed by Karolus. The kind of unfortunate thing, the way the build kind of goes, is I'm not going to be able to see that really awesome logo. But when I was making this plate, having this plate made with Tom, I gave Tom kind of full control on the plate files, even though they come from Karolus. But I told him, if you can, please keep that logo. This is Karolus's design. I really want to respect him and not change his plate file design. So yeah, that is a Karolus logo. So again, most of this is going to be from Karolus. So again, like I said earlier on stream this morning, Karolus is the real MVP. Like, I have nothing but the utmost praise for Karolus and what he does. And sorry, I'm trying to find my little brush for stuff. I got my. Where the heck are you? Come on, there you go. Cool. So yeah, Karolus is cool. So like, I definitely have the utmost again admiration and respect for what Karolus does. But that's what we're gonna kind of do and figure out as we kind of get this. Let me just get all these like stabilizer stuff out of here in the bag, and we'll get these stabs going. So. So some of the reason Tai Hao keycaps, we're going to be using the Tai Hao stabilizer kit as well. So I've used this stabilizer kit in a few builds with Tai Hao keycaps, so they're pretty good. So overall, so we're just going to get these kind of installed. So that's kind of how I approach Alps. I always take care of the stabilizers first, because those are used Alps stabilizers. I think they're great, they're simple, but in my personal opinion, they're kind of a pain in the butt. So I like to get those knocked out of the way first. Before we kind of take care of anything else, let me just kind of walk y'all through my methodology. But we're going to be on stream here a while, folks. We got to throw this commission together. And then I also want to get some pictures of it as well, just so I can, again, get this off to the client pretty quickly. My goal is to have this done by the end of this evening. So we may be on here a while, because also I got to like test switches too and do all the soldering and final assembly. Because again, since this is going out to a client, I want to make sure that this is 100% good to go and that the client's not going to have any issues with this. So we're going through, we're just going to install everything and make sure that this is a board that the client enjoys for a very, very long time. So nothing too crazy there. So I'm just kind of having fun with it, folks, and we're just going to get going. So, but yeah, overall, like, again, this is, I think, my 4th commissioned Alps build we're doing, or 5th at this point. So, again, they're slowly taking off, but again, like, I enjoy doing the commission builds for people because, again, at the end of the day, it's nice spreading the love of Alps. And again, some people really are kind of turned off by Alps because of how involved these builds are, especially if you're trying to harvest or get switches from a new source, from old boards and things like that. So, like, Alps, again, they're very much a labor of love, but what I like to tell people is, at the end of the day, when you're done with that build, it is so satisfying. A lot of the Alps builds that I have done have been very, very satisfying. So that's just kind of that end result. Again, this is going to be probably the fastest I throw together an Alps build, just because I have all the switches I need are fully restored and on hand, and all the other parts are on hand. So yeah, who knows? We'll see if any other people kind of pop in. I posted this on a few different Discord servers and whatnot, and it's weird. I actually have people who subscribe to this stuff and want to watch. I'm like, okay, cool. So like I said, I'm just the guy. I'm not going to claim I know everything. Like, for example, this morning, I was talking about Karolus' server. Like, Karolus' server is amazing. Like, there are people who are so knowledgeable on Alps and just retro technology. Like, they're probably way more knowledgeable than me. Or Karolus even said a lot of people in that server are more knowledgeable than him on this stuff. So it's just really kind of cool, just kind of being a little piece of that community and kind of letting people know, like, on stream this morning, we had Divinity, like the actual Divinity guys on stream with us, and they really enjoyed the Alps builds that I brought over to their meet a couple weeks ago, and they're actually going to be commissioning me to do a build for them for like the Divinity team. So they have they have a Kala TKL that they want me to do an Alps build in, and so I'm gonna work. Karolus was on stream as well, and Karolus said he'd be happy to kind of help develop the plate file for it. So we're gonna, so the Divinity guys are gonna be in contact, and we're gonna do that Alps build, and it's basically gonna be on display in their Divinity corporate offices, and just kind of there in their office for if anyone in the office genuinely wants to use it. So yeah, the plates have to be made each time. So what the cool thing is, Tom from Hype Keyboards, I had a ton. He gave me several extra plates. I placed a massive order within the last few weeks with him, where he sent me like, I think like 12 or 13 plates. So Tom sent me a few extra, so this is one of it. So, but yeah, custom plates have to be made each time with each of these builds, and I just have most of the time I do Alps, I do aluminum builds. That's just kind of a lot. It's just a little bit easier. But essentially, what we're doing here, what I do, I install the clips for the wires, and then I install the switches. And then again, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding lube to, again, where these wires kind of click in. That's kind of my beginning of my kind of process for lubing Alps. Again, I use 205G0 just for the stabilizers and the different contact points. I think that's just I've just had really good success with my Alps stabilizers. But the cool thing about Alps too, everyone kind of has their own method in how they kind of approach it, how they do it. But also too with like Tom at Hype Keyboards, I've been in talks with Tom too about doing an Alps build for him, since I've done so many boards. Tom's actually working on an experimental plate. So Alps plates historically are supposed to be 1.2 millimeter versus the 1.5 millimeter of MX plates. But Tom's working on a plate that's going to be 1.5 millimeter for an Alps build. So I gave him he needed a plate file for a build I could test it with. So I gave him a file for a tray mount 60% plate. So I have a couple plates that I've sent on order for my two other commission builds I'm doing for clients. So we'll kind of see how those go. And when I get those plates in, we'll kind of test out Tom's experimental 1.5 millimeter Alps plate. So I told him, like, I don't know, I'm down to experiment and try it. So, I mean, some people, maybe I'll probably run it by people in Karolus' server and see who are probably way more knowledgeable than me to figure out what we could do there. So, but it's a pretty cool time. Like, again, like, it's kind of cool. Like, Tom has been, like, on board with some of these Alps projects because he is my go-to guy for plates. And it's cool he's based in Canada. Because like Tom at Hype Keyboards, I'm really trying to see if I can do him an Alps build. He has a unicorn, a 2.1 version unicorn. So we're kind of like working out the logistics of doing an Alps conversion assembly for his unicorn. So I know unicorns are kind of weird. Depending on what version unicorn you have, will kind of determine how compatible it is with Alps. So I told Tom like that would be like the most absurd, most ridiculous build we could do for Alps. Besides putting neon green Alps in it, I told him like unless he's down to pay like $2 to $3 grand for some switches, I mean like that would be like the most hilarious Alps build. Put a unicorn with neon green Alps. But I think Tom's probably gonna go with like blue clickies or like brown Alps realistically. We're just gonna kind of see what Tom wants to do there, but he's definitely gonna be doing an Alps build in the future, which is gonna be sick. So, yeah, Tom's a good guy. So. We're just kind of making sure that these stabs are good to go. So I'm just making sure we got them nice and lubed. And we'll kind of go from there. So there we go. I got one wire going. So got a few more to do. So this is going to be a really fun build. Like I said, this is for a client. They're really awesome. Again, they kind of reached out of the blue. But like they posted on Mech Market on Discord in the Alps server there. They were looking for custom modern builds, so I shot him a DM and basically said, hey man, I think I can help you get some cool modern builds, and we could do it fully custom for you. So it's really kind of cool. I'm excited to do their F1 8X build. Yeah, it's kind of cool like seeing like all the commissions, because again, I got these two commissions for this client, and then I have another Frog TKL for another client. We're waiting on parts to come in from Karolus and the plate to get made by Tom. And then we also have our tray mount 60% Bakaneko build that we're doing. So I'm also waiting on the plate and the parts to come in for that as well. I had to order PCBs from Apple T. So, since that's a 60% build, Karolus was out of Steezy PCB, so I just went directly to the designer, and he was gracious enough to get me a 60% Alps PCB, which is nice. So, really good. So commissions are coming through. So, again, I just tell people, and also with Divinity, like that'll be really cool to be able to do a build for the Divinity guys. I'm really excited to kind of have a build that will be like proudly on display in their corporate offices here in LA, which will be really nice. And like I said, like I live really relatively close. Divinity is probably like I'd say like 10-ish minute drive from my house to them. So we'll be in contact, and I'll just probably drive over one day, pick up the TKL. And of course, when the build is ready, I'll just drive it over to them whenever it's working for them. But it's funny, on stream, Divinity was asking about like, hey, would you ever be open to like local pickup? And I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah, I totally want to visit the Divinity offices. I mean, like, I drive past their building like all the time, and I just know they're not technically open to the public. So to be able to finally like go say hello and see all the cool stuff, and I think Divinity was talking with me too this morning. They want to make me one of their affiliates. So like I might be reviewing stuff that like Divinity. I'm kind of excited to like work with Divinity and do some like reviews. But again, I also want to be very picky. Like I want to only really review stuff just based on principle that like I would personally want to buy or own. So I know Divinity has been doing a lot of great group buys over the past few months. Like I'm in their Constance TKL group buy, which should be coming in the next few weeks. I think probably within the next month, the Constance should be, and also GMK Black and Gold. According to them, those are both nearing the end of production, so they should be shipping to Divinity very soon. So, all right, we got the wires in, so that's pretty good. I also want to just, again, lube the top of these wires as well. Again, I just like to lube any kind of contact that is going to be made on these stabilizers. I really don't like rattly stabilizers, and since this is going to a client and not my own personal build, I want to make sure that this is going pretty well. So, I forgot the spacebar wire. I'll do that in a second. So, spacebar wire is also just kind of weird. So, we'll take care of the smaller ones, and we'll do that 2.751. Yeah, so it's pretty good. So we're just kind of going on, folks. So good time. So, Divinity is cool. So like they're good guys, and to be able to like kind of work with them in the future is going to be really cool. Like, and it's nice because like, hey, if they have something like they'd want me to take a look at, I could literally be at their offices in like 15 minutes, literally. So it's kind of nice. Divinity's like in my backyard. So the soldering and switch thing, some of the pins are too long. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to basically just tape the bottom of the PCB and just kind of, we'll just call it a day. So it's a black PCB, so it's pretty good. It's really just a frog. I noticed that Geon F18X there's more clearance. It's just the frog doesn't have as much clearance. So that's kind of causing that switch shorting that we were kind of experiencing in some other builds. So, yeah. So it's pretty good. So, yeah, we're getting this board going. So it's a really nice one. I really enjoy the frog. I mean, fun fact about this one, like, it's, like, the frog is probably one of my favorite TKLs, like, especially from Geon. I think Geon and the guys over there, I think they do really good work. So there we go. We got those. So we're gonna pull out some of the stabilized keycaps on the Tai Hao set, and then we'll really get going on stuff. I'm just gonna put that PCB to the side. Yeah. So yeah, the frog is amazing. Like I want to pick up a Frog 8K that has literally there's 5 extra keys on the side, and you can put like a numpad or like a macro pad there. So it's gonna be kind of cool. So definitely want to pick one of those up eventually, and yeah, I have a few Geon boards in the queue that I definitely want to pick up. So we're going to pick up some of these. So we got our Tai Hao Black and White. So I just want to get out my stabilized caps, and that's what we're going to be installing, getting ready to install the clips on the bottom of them. So, oh yeah, dude, the Frog 8K is kind of, 8K TKLs are really cool. I want to get one because I saw that Karolus had one, and it looks so cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I definitely, when I get my hands on a Frog TKL 8K, I'm definitely gonna build it on stream because it's just kind of crazy and cool, and I love it. Okay, I'm missing a key. Give me a second. I'm just making sure I got. What am I missing? I'm missing my enter. There we go. Yeah, we're not doing a big ass enter on this one. So how would I build the extra keys? Essentially, this would be a chopped down numpad. So there would be a 2U0 and we'd have the number. We would just not have like the plus or the enter. So you would have kind of like 3 row. So you would just basically this would just be a numpad without the plus of the enter key on the side. It should be really cool. So Karolus has built one in the past, and it just looks so insane and cool, and I want one. And I will eventually get one, so we'll get that. So we're just putting it to the side. So putting the tie house to the side now. So we're gonna install the clips on the bottom of these, and we're just gonna get this one going. So, but yeah, Karolus, he's definitely given me a lot of inspiration for builds over time. So like, yeah, Karolus, yeah, definitely gives me a lot of bad ideas. So I love that with Karolus. He's a dope dude. So, and like I said, Karolus, we're working on the Q. Karolus and I are helping out with the QFRL board too, which is a board that's going to be coming up on Group Buy, and the creator is actually going to send me one of the prototypes. So I'll be able to check that out on the stream, which will be really, really cool. But like the QFRL is a really cool board. Like I'm excited. It's going to be an F rowless full size. And what's cool about that board is I talked to the designer, and he's going to be building PCB is compatible with Alps and Cherry MX switches. But I asked him if he would do a PCB design that supports the Apple extended keyboard keycap layout, and the bottom row is different. So I asked him, and he said, yeah, I'm down to do that. So, which is really cool. So when I get the board that I'm going to get for review, to kind of check out on stream, will only be MX compatible at the moment, because we don't have the plates yet. So Karolus is going to be helping design the plate. So we sent over a lot of the plate files over to Karolus, and Karolus said he's fully on board to help convert that MX plate file to Alps, which will be really cool. So we're lubing these clips under here on the underside of the keycaps, and we'll then attach those, and then we'll solder these in, and we'll test them, and we should be, if the switches are good, then we'll continue on. So it's just, this is kind of the slow part of doing these internal assemblies, is just taking care of the stabs. So we got the space bar going, and I just want to make sure which wire I'm using. I always forget sometimes. We'll use that one because that's too big. Cool. Awesome. So we'll get these pretty good. So yeah, it's a fun time working with these particular boards. But yeah, this Frog TKL board is pretty cool. So I'm excited to get this one built, and then of course sent off to the client. They're really excited. This client, it's a really cool client. They have a pretty cool collection that kind of rivals mine. So like, I'm really excited that their really awesome collection is going to have Alps and like a couple high-end Alps builds. Like, I honestly recommend people, if they're going to do get into Alps, if you can afford it, do a Geon build. Like, the Frog is going to be probably your most affordable. But like, if you can do like an F18X or a 722 or like an F284 or like an F188, that is my honest recommendation to go for it. I'm just going to kind of see if I put that one on the right. Some space bar is kind of tricky. I always kind of forget that one. Let's just see. Oh, okay. Never mind. I put the clips on wrong. We gotta go the other way. It's okay. That's why we do this. It's the fun part of doing stuff on stream. You gotta, like, if you make a mistake, then everyone sees it, and it's kind of cool. So that's like the fun part of being live on stream. So yeah, fun times, everybody. Fun times. So we're just gonna flip these clips around, and we'll get this show going. So good times. Yeah, I got peeps here. It's awesome. Yeah, hello, welcome everybody. Again, I'm just a guy who just likes keyboards and Alps and all that other crazy stuff. So it's just fun. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy in his man cave doing stuff. So it's fun. So we're getting this space bar done. Space bars are probably my least favorite to do because they're just, yeah. Alps space bars are fun. They're fun in their own way. So let's just double check my wire is still good. We'll put some more lube on that and just make sure we are good to go, folks. Nice. Get that 205D0 on there. Nice. Nice. So, honestly, I feel like I type better on Alps, like, to be completely honest. Like, Alps are just, they're different. I think it's probably one of the more satisfying typing experiences. So, yeah, we're just going to get this space bar installed. Give me a second, folks. There we go. Alright, let's just get this wire lubed and clipped in, and then we'll get this going. Oh, man, look at that. Alright. Yeah, space bars are very much a finesse. Yeah. Honestly, I rotate in. Like, I was on stream this morning, I was using the Test 65. Like, on stream right now, I have my white dampened Tofu 60 with Matthias keycaps. So, like, I rotate. Like, I use my Topre, I use Alps, I'll use MX. I mean, my Hall Effect build I pull out all the time. I try to use all the different, my four form factors. So let me just clip this in really quick. Come on, clip in, you stupid thing. Come on. There we go. Awesome. Get that one in. There we go. Cool. Yeah, we're just good, making sure that yeah. Cool. We got our space bar done. Everybody, look at that. Look at that. So, space bar is in. That's the one I always kind of hate doing. Space bar is just so finicky. So, like, I just try to make sure that is the one I take care of first when we're doing our stabilized switches, because it just makes life a lot easier. All right. So now the space bar is done. Now we can do the other switches and put the clips on. So those are a little more straightforward. So we got our shift. So those are pretty easy. So like overall, this is a pretty good board. Like it's fun. I really enjoy it. Like just kind of nice seeing builds like this. Like this one's really fun. I think overall, like just Alps. I think you're just in general. I think you're just a fun switch. And like I said, the Divinity guys were asking about like, what do you think about us like stocking with Matthias switches? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Like I told them, like if you can get in contact with Matthias in Canada and utilize their and be able to sell their switches and make Alps a little more accessible, I'm like, absolutely, that's awesome. So, but like I said, like Matthias switches are fine, but if I would always recommend people, if you have the time and the patience, I absolutely recommend doing OG Alps. But if that's a little overwhelming to you, like you could either like commission me to do a build, or you can just go with Matthias, and that takes out like half the work of doing Alps. You still have to get like the special plates and like the special PCBs, but like that's a little more doable compared to like restoring them. So there we go. We got our left shift in there, which is really nice. There we go. Got that puppy in there. And now we're going to move on to our backspace. I'll do our BS now. So they're pretty good. But like overall, these are just overall, like it's just, I'm having a blast doing Alps, man. Like they're fun. Like they're fun builds. And I really just enjoy working with them. I love just what goes into them and how involved they are. Like, especially like the switch restoration. I probably have like a few hundred switches I got to restore right now. They've been harvested. It's just, I've been so busy with like just life and these commissions and work. That I really can't do any of the Alps restoration right now. So, but especially for the client commissions, especially when those come up, yeah, I'll absolutely restore those switches if I need to. But like, I also have like my personal Alps switch library. I also want to just have a healthy stock of. So, a bunch of those switches I'm just kind of waiting on. So we'll put our backspace on. Clip that puppy in. There we go. And we got backspace. All right, there's our backspace, which is pretty good. Now we'll do we'll put our enter clips on, and then we should be done with stabilizers, which is really nice. So I always like doing the stabilizers because that's the part that's just kind of tedious. We just want to have nice lube stabilizers, and I prefer to do the stabilizers before stuff is kind of soldered in. That's just kind of my methodology for Alps. So we're going through, getting them going. Look at that, everybody. Get those in. Yeah, so we're just getting in there, getting these lubed, and then we can kind of go through the process of assembling the other portions of the assembly. I can kind of walk you through how I kind of solder in Alps and test everything too, because we will have some switches that the switch plates are faulty. That's just the nature of Alps. That's why I have a bunch of extras. So we just kind of go through process elimination, and we usually have some good switches that are pretty good. So. All right, let's get this enter going. We're just doing a standard ANSI enter. We're not doing a big ass enter on this one. Oh, it sounds so good. Ah, so good. All right, let's get this big left shift. There we go. I mean right shift. Sorry about that. So let's get the clips on this one, and then we're gonna we should be good to go to like get the PCB and start soldering. So. I'll get, sorry about that. There we go. Getting our clips in there. So, should be our last stabilized key. So, yeah. I mean, eventually we will get like a full size or some other weird stuff. Like I was talking with Alex Tardy, and he has he's working on an Alps plate for the W1AT, and I'm like, yeah, I would have like an Alps W1AT. I'm like, I'm down for that. Although I love my W1AT as it's built. It's currently built with Gateron Grayish, which I freaking love. So like, really want to keep that MX, but I'd be down to have like a second assembly that's like fully Alps for that one. And he also has like a Rama Zenith PCB that he's working on, which I would just think would be so sick to have on hand. Like also have like my Zenith. I also love having BMX. So like we're just gonna kind of see. So absolutely. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to go full Komori and have multiple builds of things, but I'd be open to having like separate internal assemblies for the boards. Yeah. Dude, at this rate, probably. But like, I was helping a buddy move yesterday, and he collects comic books and like comic book memorabilia, and his like the way my man cave is filled, keyboards is filled with comic books. And I had this joke with him, and he loved it. He said like, it's not hoarding if you collect cool shit. So like, these are definitely cool. And like, when people come and like see my little man cave, like they say like, I want to see the wall of keyboards. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's fun. So we got those. So we got our stabilized keys in, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, collecting is definitely not hoarding. Amen to that stuff, man. So all right, so we got our board, we got our stabilizers done. So that's pretty good. So that's kind of a big hurdle. I always like getting that done first because that's the part that's just kind of a pain in the butt. So let me get my PCB. So again, we're going with the flex cuts. Again, the thing with this, once these flex cuts are not going to make a difference once the build is fully assembled. So we're going to get it going. So again, we have some more viewers. Hello, people. Come on in. You're welcome to join the chat and comment all kinds of weird things in there. Go for it. So, like, I mean, don't go too unhinged or off the rails, please. But I don't want Twitch to ban me, but we'll see. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I got my lining up my pins, making sure we do that. Come on, there we go. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna solder in our stabilized keycaps, and then we're gonna do a test just to make sure we get going. Let me fire up the soldering iron. Yeah, again, like for my soldering iron, we were kind of talking about this topic this morning. I prefer to run my soldering iron around 400 degrees Celsius. That's just kind of the temperature I've learned with my soldering iron. That's like I've had the most success with. So I've learned that 350 is just a little too cold for my liking. And when it's at 400, that's usually when it works most ideal. So I'm just putting some stuff to the side just to get things going. So, but yeah, good times, everybody. Good times. So just moving some tools to the side. We're going to get my solder out here, and then soldering iron is pretty much warmed up. We're getting ready to go. So we're going to solder these in, and then we're going to be basically testing these switches, just making sure the switches are pretty good, and then we'll move on to assembling and putting on everything. So yeah, so the solder process is pretty simple. Like one thing for sure you do when you do soldering is you want to make sure that the switches are flat and flush against the PCB in between the plate. You don't want any kind of gap because that can also affect sound and like how if your keycaps are all level with each other. But essentially, like what I essentially like to do is I'll start off with the space bar. But essentially what we are going to be doing, I just put the soldering tip towards the pad and the pin, and then I just put the solder on. So it's pretty simple. That's essentially what I do, and I usually let it cool and things like that, but we want to see that everything is nice and flush, and we are flush there. So the nice thing too with Alps, the pins are a little bit longer, which is really nice. So but we just kind of go through that, and there we go. We got our space bar on there. Oops, I forgot to do my vent, my hood. So give me a second, let me turn on my little vent. I don't want to be breathing all this crap in, so there we go. So we got my space bar on there pretty firm. We're going to do our right shift really quick, so let me get that one nice and solid, and then we're going to test these. Oh, I got wooden toilet. What's up, dog? Yeah, I mean, this isn't your commission, unfortunately. This is another commission we're working on, but we're on stream today. So we're working on a commission build wooden toilet. I'm still waiting on the parts from Karolus to come in for your fruit build. We're doing another frog commission build, which is pretty good. So I know. So yeah, dude, I can't wait to get your build too, my man. Like you're also doing. It's funny. We have Orange Alps. Like pretty much most of these Orange Alps are the most popular right now for commissions. Like this commission right here is also Orange Alps, which is kind of cool. So, but a good time, man. Like again, when Toilet's on here, he's another person who I'm working on a commission right now. We're just waiting on parts to come in from Karolus. So I'm just making sure everything is solid and good to go there. There we go. Cool. So, yeah, so it's all good. So, yeah, no, it's really cool. But, yeah, Frog TKLs are definitely Probably one of the more popular boards to convert to Alps. I think it's a great board for the price. Like if you can get it, you can get the Frog TKL on Mech Market for like 200, 225, or get it, heck, even get it new from Geon for like 250, which I think is a fantastic price. It's a very good board for what it is, and you get that Geon quality for not like an F1.8X Premium. So we're kind of walking through, just making sure my switches are nice and flush. So I'm just adjusting everything, making sure they're nice and flat. There we go. Awesome. So we're just kind of, which is cool. So yeah, so this is a fun, this is a really good one. Yeah. Yeah, Geon, I think the good thing about Geon, which is really nice, is he uses standards. Like for example, pretty much all of his boards use PCB standards. So like they use the Heine H88, H87 PCB standard, which is really nice. So like Geon, you don't need like a Geon branded PCB. As long as it's an H88 or H87 PCB, like that's the really kind of nice thing. So Heine was really cool that he kind of developed that PCB standard, and also with like 60% builds. Like my 60% Alps builds use H60 pattern PCBs. So that's really nice using standard PCBs. And now I know in the custom world there are certain boards that have to go with a fully custom PCB that's not standard, which is cool, like especially if you're doing some of the more crazy and insane designs. But I really like it when, like with Geon, he does really amazing industrial design while using internals that are standard. Oh yeah, both ways are completely understandable. I love boards that are fully custom, like, and just go crazy. Like for example, like Matrix Labs. Like getting PCBs for Matrix Labs boards is an absolute pain in the ass. It just kind of is the nature of Matrix, because all those boards everything on those boards is custom. Yeah, but it's cool too. Like I think when the boards can use alternative, and it makes getting replacement PCBs so much easier. Like there's a ton of different PCBs that are in this TKL pattern, which is really nice. So like that just makes replacements really easy. And I have a lot of PCBs on hand in case something gets breaked. Yeah, so I'm just using a Logitech C920 for both cameras. Like, I'm just a guy doing this for fun. Like, hey, if this streaming or YouTube thing or Twitch thing kind of blows up into something a little bit bigger, like, hey, I'll take the time to upgrade my equipment. But for the purposes of what I'm doing, I'm mainly focusing on live streaming and then putting on Twitch and then putting the video on demands on YouTube. I'm not really doing like the proper content creation where like I have do B-roll and like really high bitrate, high resolution reviews like people like Andy Wynn or Keyboard or like Hippio. I'm mainly just pointing down. So yeah, this camera's pointed down. My monitor is like literally right here. It's pointing like that way. So I mean I can rotate the camera. So yeah. I'm not gonna say I'm a professional. I literally figured out how to stream last week, so like I like to keep it super chill. I'm just a guy. I mean, hey, if this turns into something big, cool. I mean, the fact that like the Vinicky wants to work with me, like I have the Baron BP1. Yeah, I have the Alienware U34 ultra wide, but like for example, I have some boards that are hopefully going to go to group buy that I'm gonna be getting to review on stream and build on stream to remote. I'm getting the QFRL 100 probably next month. I'm getting Luke Barron's BP1 McLaren TKL to review. That's a really cool board project. Oh yeah, it's OLED. Yeah, it's the OLED ultra wide. So yeah, no, dude, like my setup is crazy. But yeah, so okay, cool. We got these 5 switches soldered in. So what I want to do now is plug this into Vial and just double check the switches are working. So I kind of install switches and waves on boards just to make sure that, yeah, OLED is worth it, dude. Once you go to OLED, it's really hard going back to like an LCD or like a TN panel. Like, and also it's high refresh rate. Like, as long as I've been into like computer gaming, like I've always done, yeah. I mean, honestly, like if you can wait till like Black Friday, it's really good. But I'm in Vial right now on my computer. I just want to test these switches and make sure that they are good to go. So. Okay, right shift is good. I don't want sticky keys. No, thank you. Spacebar is good. Right shift is good. Enter is good. Backspace is good. All right, cool. We are good to start soldering switches, which is fantastic. So, but yeah, OLED, definitely, if you can do some OLED. So yeah, again, like I said, I have a ton of Orange Alps on hand. So like I said, I'm doing 3 commissions at the moment with Orange Alps. So like Wooden Toilet yours, and my back end, again, we have a couple other Orange Alps commissions in addition to this. So like I have a metric crap ton of them on hand just to make sure. So we're going to kind of go through and make sure that everything is good. Dude, Orange Alps are the best. I honestly think that for the money, you cannot go wrong with Orange Alps. Like, are they as good as like Brown Alps? No, I think Brown Alps are their own thing, but also Brown Alps are like 2 to 3 times the price. Like, to get a set of Brown Alps for a TKL, you're looking at probably between $400 and $500. Versus a set for a TKL is going to run you between $100 to $150. The most expensive Alps are hands down neon green. A set of neon greens, they are about $20 to $30 a switch. And if you want a set for like a TKL or a full size, you are looking between $2,000 and $3,000 for neon green Alps in just switches. Yeah, like, and even Karolus has said, like, he's my go-to modern Alps guy. He said they're not worth it. Like, if you want they're super close to Brown Alps, and Brown Alps are rare, but they're way more available than neon green Alps. Neon green Alps were just always rare. They only appeared in a handful of boards. So again, before COVID, a bunch of people realized that they were rare and bought them up and started charging exorbitant amounts, and the prices never went down. So it really just kind of sucks because neon, I would love to have a board with neon green Alps. I mean, maybe like one day when I have like all the other Alps switches and Alps boards built, like I'll pony up and do something absolutely ridiculous and absurd with neon greens. But for right now, I'm going to focus on other Alps switches that I want to acquire and other boards I want to build in. Like if I do neon green Alps, it would be a true end game Alps build. Like it would be my last personal Alps build that I would do for my collection. But there's a bunch of other Alps switches I want to get and have in my collection before that happens. So we're just kind of putting in some other switches as well, just to kind of hold everything down. And then we're going to solder all those puppies in. So pretty good. I got to figure out if that's that's going in. So give me a second. Putting in our caps lock buttons here. So yeah, it really be like that, folks. I completely agree. So we're just kind of going through, putting in some switches. And we're going to, again, go with Orange Alps on this one today. So this is a commission build for a client. This client is actually commissioning 2 builds from me. They're doing this is a GeonWorks Frog TKL with Orange Alps. And then the other build is going to be a Geon F18X V2 with linear green Alps. Now, when I say linear green Alps, those are much more readily available and common. So that was what the client wanted. They wanted 2 builds, one with orange, one with green, and they wanted really nice boards to have them built. So they asked me, like, hey, like, what boards do you recommend? And I told them Geon. Absolutely Geon. Like, if I tell people if you want to get into a modern Alps build, I think Geon is probably one of the best candidates. There are other boards out there that are great, like the Cage TKL, like AO3 Polaris, the Hex 3CV1 or V2. But like for TKLs, I think Geon's the best. You can make Janes. Janes you can convert to Alps. There's quite a few other TKLs, but I just think something about Geon I think is just really nice. And just really, I think just overall, like Geon is my #1 kind of recommendation. So, yeah. So I think it depends. So like I think tactile Alps are going to be probably your best type of switch. Like brown Alps, orange Alps, black Alps, white dampened Alps, cream dampened Alps, cream Alps. I think those are tactiles are probably going to be the best, followed by clickies and then linears. The linears are fantastic. I really enjoy linear Alps. I think they're a great switch type. Green Alps or yellow Alps. Green Alps are really easy to track down in boards. So like again, like I have a ton of green Alps on hand. Like I have where is it? Like these are the green Alps we're gonna do for this client's other build. So I have a ton of green Alps on hand, and I have like 100 more coming from Click and Thok from Canada. So dampened means, so essentially, Naveed could probably comment in chat too, but essentially there's little rubber spacers on the sliders that they were trying to make them a little bit more silent. There's 2 dampened switches. For example, this Tofu right here has white dampened, and the other ones would be ivory dampened Alps or cream dampened Alps. They're just a little bit quieter. I'll put this up to the mic. they're just trying. The idea was just to make the switches a little more quiet. The thing with Alps, they're actually not that quiet. So that's one of the things about it. They're not. Alps are a pretty loud switch, even if whether you go with linear, tactiles, or the clickies. Like my blue clicky Geon F18X is loud as crap. That's just the nature of Alps. They are not a quiet switch. Like if someone wants a silent build, do not go Alps. They're you're very much embracing the sound with Alps. So we're gonna get this. So I'm gonna turn my vent on. So if you hear that sound, that's what this little bugger is. It's just sucking in the fumes that come from the solder. I don't want to breathe this in. So. Oh, dude, loud keyboards are the friggin' best. I absolutely agree. So we're going to do some corners first, and then we're going to get going, folks. So we're just going to kind of solder these puppies in. All right. Cool. Got those. All right. Get these puppies soldered in. Cool. Let's do another corner over here. Yeah, loud Alps, loud switches, absolutely the best. That's the way to do it. Cool. Doing those corners, just making sure everything is nice and secure and going well. There we go. Cool. Let's do this top corner up here. So I'm going to flip it around really quick. So give me a second. There we go. Just make it a little bit easier to get some of these switches and whatnot. So fantastic. Yeah, just making sure. So yeah, we're just going through soldering them again. Like I can make pretty good easy work of soldering boards, so that's the nice thing about soldering. I've gotten pretty good at it as I've gone on my keyboard journey. So and solder is definitely what I prefer, and if anyone's getting into Alps, solder is the only way to go. So get used to soldering or find someone like yours truly to solder it for you. So which is pretty good. So especially when you get into like the high-end keybs, like solder is gonna be your friend. So that's just kind of the nature of the game. So we're just making sure those are all stabilized in. Heck yeah. So yeah, pretty good. So we're just kind of I kind of do it in waves. So we're gonna be testing the switches because I want to make sure that these are 100% foolproof for the client. Awesome. Perfect. So, yeah. Yeah, don't do Milmax isn't going to work. Milmax is not going to work, unfortunately. Solder is truly the only way to go. Has anyone made a hot swap equivalent? No. Again, the thing is, too, with Alps, like, they weren't the most consistent in their manufacturing. So they're not like Cherry, where, like, they have a pretty high value to like quality control and consistency. Alps really wasn't that way back in the day. So there's a lot of different tolerances and variations. So solder really is just kind of your best and kind of safest bet when you're getting into Alps builds. That's just kind of the nature of Alps. And that's just what makes them fun. So they're a really fun time. I really enjoy doing Alps and just kind of seeing what they're able to do. And it's just fun. The history is cool. Like these switches are from the 1980s. So these switches come from an Apple extended keyboard from like 1986. So yeah. Yeah, and again, solder I think is more enthusiast level stuff because like most of my boards are solder and I have a really good idea of what I like in terms of sound and feel. Like hot swap is great because if you want to swap like switches, it's pretty easy. Like, but with Alps, you really got to know what you want. Like, so when I work with clients and doing like client builds, I ask them like, do you want tactile? Do you want linear? Do you want clicky? Because also too, like that's going to determine price. Like orange Alps are relatively affordable, but like again, like if someone wants blue Alps or like brown Alps, like we're talking about a significant price jump in the price of switches. Most Alp switches are relatively affordable. It's just when you get into some of the more rare switches, like not necessarily neon greens. If you're going into browns, blues, oh, dude, I freaking love hot swap, dude. Like, I mean, I have I'm not a gatekeeper in saying, oh, hot swap sucks. Hot swap is fantastic. I mean, especially if you're like if you have a board you want to just try out a bunch of different switches in, or you're reviewing switches, or if you're just someone that is new to the hobby, like hot swap is the way to go. It's funny, a few weeks ago I built a board for someone. It was kind of their first custom keyboard, but it was a full like DIY solder kit. And I'm like, why did you choose this for one of your first boards? So I was happy to build it for them. That was a very involved build. But it was a fun experience, and I actually learned a lot more about my soldering skills and like how I can do boards for people. But it was definitely a fun time. But we're kind of going through and making sure that everything is good to go on this board. So we're just soldering in the first portion, then we'll do the F row and then the alphas. So just making sure that those all look good. So it's a good time, folks. So we're just definitely going through doing these soldering of these different points. So we're just having a good time here on stream doing this client build. So a little more involved on this one. So all right, cool. That one's looking good. Awesome. Let's do this home navigation cluster right here, and we'll get these ones soldered in. Yeah, but wooden toilet when we get... oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Heine PCBs, again, so there are some of them that support both Alps and Cherry MX, which is really cool. The thing with Heine, though, he's not really active in the hobby anymore. So, like, trying to get stuff like Heine stuff is kind of a pain in the butt. Like, I wish honestly, I wish every PCB just came, if it's solder, just came compatible. Yeah, it sucks Heine's out of the hobby, but I mean, I get it. He was just a guy who did this for fun, and it kind of blew up, and I get burnout is very real. I mean, like, someone like Tai Hao took a step back from doing keyboard stuff, so, like, for me, like, I really don't want this to turn, I'm not going to quit my day job for this, like, I really enjoy doing this for fun. I wouldn't want this to be my job because I'd get burnt out on it pretty quickly. Like, I'm doing this for fun. Like, I'm fine getting paid for like the commission builds, but like in terms of trying to fight to get monetized in like Twitch or YouTube, like if it happens, it happens. But like that's not my goal. Like, I'm just sharing this just as a guy who wants to share information and things like that. But like I said, like, it's cool being able to work and collaborate with like some companies like Divinity and some of the group buy boards that I'm going to get to like actually review on stream is going to be pretty cool. But like overall, like it's not my intentional goal to become like someone who's big like Hippio or something like that within the keyboard space. I'm just a guy. I'm doing this for fun. I'm here to have fun. I'm going to Keeb Life in Los Angeles in September, which will be really cool. So like, if any of you are going to Keeb Life in LA, let me know and like come say hi. I will definitely have the Alps builds showcased for Keeb Life. Again, I'll have all the Alps builds. Oh yeah, Keeb Life is awesome. If you're in Southern California or Los Angeles or near the Southwest, make it out to Keeb Life. It is one of the biggest keyboard meets on the West Coast of the United States, and probably the biggest one in North America. It's run by Frank and Mushiki, which is really cool. So Frank is awesome. I actually bought a Tomo solder PCB from Frank. Because the fun thing about the TGR Tomo, it is Alps compatible, and I have an Alps plate for my TGR Tomo. I will convert it to Alps eventually, but I really like how it's built with my Cherry MX build right now. So the Tomo is definitely staying together, but it may be a candidate. Yeah. Oh yeah, Keeb Life is amazing. Like, I wish it was multiple days, but Keeb Life is going to be like your 5th one. I think over time, I would love for Keeb Life to kind of be like KeyCon or the Seoul Mechanical Keyboard Expo, where it's like a multi-day event in celebration of keyboards. Like, for right now, it's just a day event. But I think eventually, if it grows and gets big enough, I would love for Frank and the guys, the people at Keeb Life, to make it like maybe like a 2 or maybe even 3-day event. Like, that would be really cool. And maybe even also too, instead of just having like everyone in like the area where like people are showing off the keyboards, have like panels and workshops and breakout rooms, like, or like have panels with creators. Like, a ton of creators are located here in Los Angeles, and like you could have a panel on like what is it like to design a keyboard? What's the process? Like, what is your methodology? Like, the Divinity guys mentioned like doing a workshop on like how to solder, like things that'd be really cool. So there's a ton of topics they could do on like panels to like educate people a little bit more on the hobby and things that go in the different niches and things like that. Like, hell, I would do an Alps. Like, I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to maybe do like a clinic on Alps for people. Like, people who are curious about Alps or want to do it. Like, I'd do an educational thing on Alps. Which is basically what I'm doing here. So, But it's fun. So like I think at Keep Life, there's definitely room for growth. I went last year, and it was really cool. They had the guys from Keyput, Cannon Keys came out. Yeah. Oh yeah, Cannon. Oh, what the heck? Cannon Keys is moving to California. Heck yeah, dude. I love Cannon Keys. They're awesome. Like I got to meet some of their team members last year at Keep Life, and they were so nice. Like Cannon Keys is like another one of those like vendors. Like absolutely put trust in them. Like in what they do. I have a group. What group am I in with them? Give me a second. Let me just get this one going. I'm doing. Oh yeah, my GMK British Racing Green. I have through. I have on Group Buy through Cannon Keys. So my Kohaku is waiting for its British Racing Green because I have my Kohaku in British Racing Green. So waiting for that to come on. My set's taking forever because I ordered the brass novelties. So I got the brass Escape and brass Enter, and I know they've been having some manufacturing issues. So Novelties has GMK British Racing Green in stock. They're just wanting to ship everything together. So I told them I'm not in a rush. Like it's gonna ship to me whenever the heck it gets to me. I don't care. I've been waiting months. I don't care. I'm pretty patient with group buys. I mean, the one nice thing with group buys, gone are the days of us waiting like, gone are the days of like waiting 2 years for a board on group buy. Thank God that was just a COVID thing. Like the longest I've waited for a group buy is probably like, I don't know, like 8 months, which is gonna be my Constance TKL. So, but like that's not too bad. So, again, I came in after the dark times of COVID. So. Alright, we're getting that one going in. There we go. Alright, we're almost done with this switch right here, and then we can do some testing. And I hope I don't have to desolder any of these switches and put in any new ones. Yeah, so, hi, Aaron. Hi, B. Aaron. Yeah. Oh, shit. 2 years for the group buy? God damn, that sucks, man. I am sorry. I feel bad for the people on that one. Good God. Yeah, so, yeah, but, yeah, yeah, our North American vendors are pretty cool. I think for the most part, like I think the ones I trust would be like Divinity, Cannon Keys, Novel Keys is another big one. Omnitype is our guys I really trust. Makaibo for like North American vendors, I think they're really cool. Up in Canada, like Desk Hero is another vendor I really like. Ouch! Of 2020, good God, that's like when I got into the hobby. God, that sucks. I am so sorry. Ow, ow. Shit, I hope you guys get your shit. That'd be awesome. That's a cool board, by the way. So, alright, I'm plugging the board in. We're going to be testing these switches. I kind of do in waves, then we'll do the F-row, then we'll do all the numbers and the alphas. So, oh yeah, dude, Bowl keyboards too. Bowl and Click-Clack as well. Like, oh, awesome vendors. Bowl is awesome. Like, I mean, also with the Manta, like, if you guys are looking for a really cool 65%, like, go support Alex Odos and Bowl with the Manta. Like, that's going to be so awesome. That's such an awesome project. I'm personally not joining the group buy. It's just I'm tied up in other projects right now, but I might pick one up off Mech Market once they get into people's hands, maybe probably sometime in 2026. But that's a really, really cool board, and I love what they're doing with that bottom weight, because one thing with 65% is they all kind of look the same at this point. It's kind of hard to do, and I like what Alex Otis and Bull are doing with their industrial design, making it just so different. I think that's one of the cool things with it. So I'm really enjoying what they're doing. So, yeah, so it's really cool. So we're just kind of seeing it, folks. So I'm going into Vile right now, and we're just going to kind of test these switches out. Come on, Vile, open up, you stupid thing. Come on, program. Computers, there we go. Cool. All right, we're going to make sure everything is looking good on this particular board, and everything looks nice. So let's just double check my awesome. That's working. Cool home cluster. Ah, I got a dead switch. Got to pull out the desoldering gun. Damn it. All right. Ah, I have a dead switch. Damn it. All right, cool. So this switch is dead. So the switch plate's faulty right here. Damn it. Oh yeah, dude, Bull is awesome. Like, I think we're lucky to have him. I'm like, no. Oh, it's fine. Like, there's a reason I have a metric crap load of them. That's just a switch. So usually my experience, the switch plate is faulty. So give me a quick second, folks. I got to go grab my desoldering gun. And we're going to, I didn't think I'd have to pull that out, but we got to pull it out. All right, give me a second. Here we go. All right. Give me a second. Let me pull her out. All right. That's why we do the switches and parts. I know. I can revive them. I just swap out the switch plate. So the switch is fine. It's just I'll show you the part that's faulty. Let me just get the Hacko set up. It's usually just a faulty switch plate. So it's a pretty easy fix. So let me just move my mouse all the way out here. Let me get this thing plugged in. Let it get fired up. And yeah, Hakko FR301. This is not a cheap tool. It's like $300, but if you're soldering boards a lot like I do, this board is worth its weight in gold. So yeah, but we're gonna revive it. It's pretty easy getting these out. So we're just gonna desolder. You can see how I desolder stuff, guys. Look at that. So yeah. Yeah, but you're gonna see me take apart a switch in like 30 seconds. So I'm just letting the Hakko warm up, and then we'll get into that switch and pull it out, and then put a nice new switch in, and then we should be good to go. So again, I want to make it's just kind of the nature with these switches. Some of them are pushing 40 years old. Yeah, so I'll show you guys what the switch plate is. I just gotta get I gotta pull the switch out. So it's this one right here. So there we go. Yeah, look at all that. Yeah, look at that. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Holy cow. Hey, dude. Yeah, dude. Hey, I spread the love with keyboard stuff, dude. Like, I sent Naveed a metric truckload of switches when he got into the hobby a few months ago. Like, it's awesome. Naveed's a dope dude. Like, I mean, I met Naveed on the Keybase server, so, like, yeah. So, yeah, dude. Let me just, yeah, dude, I'm here to spread the love, and if I have extra stuff, like, another thing, too, I'll tell you guys, I've been talking with, like, one of the things I think I might also do, I like spreading the love. If I get boards that are sent to me, like, for free for, like, review in the future, I'll probably end up doing, like, kind of what, like, Alex Odos does, and just, like, give them away to people. Because I think at the end of the day, I think that's what's just kind of more fair. I think it's just kind of based on principle. So, like, unless it's a board I absolutely am in love with, or, like, I bought myself, but, like, definitely, if I get a board sent to me for free, I would definitely probably just give it a, like, build it on stream, do like photography and like review it and like get proper informed thoughts on it. But definitely would give it away to people. Like, so I'll probably work with some people on like some of the Discord servers. So we're pulling the switch apart. I got to disassemble it to kind of figure out what's wrong with it. But I'll show you guys what is the faulty part on most of these. So right here on this particular board, are going to be the switch plate. So that's what actually this is what the slider, the orange slider, makes contact with, and that's what registers the key presses. So which is really cool. So yeah, Naveed's dope. So he's a really dope dude. So but yeah, so we're just going to pull this switch plate out and pull this switch out, but it's usually this. So this switch is perfectly fine. I'll just swap out the switch plate. I have a ton of these on hand. But just for the purposes of my sanity, we're just going to replace the switch entirely. So we're going to pull that out. Let me get my pliers and pull this little bugger out. So it's always fun to everybody. So let me just pull them out. There we go. Come on, switch. There we go. Sometimes they're some of them are need more finessing. Oh, there we go. I got the switch plate pulled out. So that's a switch plate for an Alps board. So nothing too crazy. Normally, so usually there's sometimes contacts in here that are just kind of corroded from over time. That's usually what happens. And this contact leaf right here on it's pretty loose. So we're just kind of see, like, it's fine. Like, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I have a metric crap load of orange switches. This is probably going to happen for a few of the switches. It's just kind of the nature of Alps when you work with them. Like, yeah, these are 40-year-old switches. They're old. I'm just kind of working on pulling them out. There we go. There we go. Cool. All right, we're going to put this switch back together, and I'll fix this one a little later on. I'll just make a note of it, put it in the discard pile, just that this needs a new switch plate. So we'll put a new switch in, and then we'll solder it, and it should be good to go, folks. So let's get it in there. Awesome. Let's solder that in really quick. Let me put the solder gun to the side, folks. I think we'll be done with that for the moment. So let me just put this thing to the side. It's also like boiling hot. Cool. That's not going to be the last time we're going to see the Hakko, unfortunately. That probably will happen a couple of other times. Yeah, so it's a fun time. Hey, man, and I also, just another thing, too, with these Alps boards, and especially just commissions, these are not my personal builds. I'm not keeping these. So when I send these off to a client, they're giving me their hard-earned money for these builds. So when I make sure that everything on these boards is perfect and everything works 100%. So that's a big thing. So like, I'm not giving someone something that's faulty because that's my reputation. I want to continue doing commissions. So I want these builds to be as good as they can be for these people who are getting these boards. So I'm not going to give them a board that is broken. or has faulty switches. So we're going to make sure that everything is 100% good to go. And same with like wooden toilet and the other commissions we're doing. Again, I'm going to do the same process with your boards to make sure that they are 100%. Because at the end of the day, like I want that, if I was paying someone to build something for me, that's what I would want. So I'm going to go back into Vial and just double check that that end key is working, and we should be good to go. I'll just open up VIA. It's just easier. It just opens up easier. So let's just get that. Yeah, end is working. We are good. Yeah, so all the switches I have installed so far are working 100% correct. So that is awesome. Arrows are working. Control, Alt, spacebar is good. Caps lock, tab. Yeah, we are good. All right, cool. These switches are good to go for right now. So let's do our next row of switches. Yeah. So these are all good. So all these switches that are installed are good to go. So we're going to do the F row. And this is an F13 frog. So we do have one extra switch on our F row, which is pretty sweet. So we're just going to put all these switches in. So that's why I just do row by row in different clusters of the board. Because again, like I said, we're probably going to have a couple other dead switches. When I restore these, I really don't have a way of testing them. Chester from Keybay told me eventually I should just get a multimeter. And that way I can test switches before even soldering them in. But that would be the easy way, but I'm also a glutton for punishment, so we're just going to kind of see. So we're just going to work it out as we go. So we're going to do the F row, but we're kind of going to go. Man, we've been on here for about an hour. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm a glutton for punishment, man. And I think that's just fun, too, like the process of building Alps. Because, again, you're going to have some switches that may not work right. So that's why you, like, when you have a board, like, you just got to test them all. And trust me, I've had other boards in my personal collection. I experienced the same thing when I'm building them. And I just swap out the switches, the switch plates, and then the switches are good to go. So it's just the switch plate that's faulty. That's the part that has the pins that stick out. All right, so we have those in there, and we're going to get ready to solder some of these in. So we're going to do our F row, and then we'll do our numbers and our alphas. And then, yeah, we're going to see how this goes. But this is a little more involved, but this is coming up really good. So I'm really excited for this build. So we're just going to put it over to the side. Give me a second. There we go. Let's get the little hacko over here. Move some of my other tools out of the way, and then we're going to solder in our F row. So let's get that F row going. So there we go. Cool. Let's flip it over, and let's get that F row on there, folks. So let's get it going. Let's turn on my vent. So there we go. We're going. So let's get these ones soldered. Let me clean off my soldering iron really quick. Give me a second. All right. Cool. Got a nice clean soldering iron tip, and we are good to go. So let's get this one in. So let's do our F row. So, all right. So I have a couple right here we're going to do right here. All right. Give me a second. That one's a little loose. We just got to make sure that's pretty good. There we go. Awesome. Cool. Feeling good about that. Awesome, awesome, folks. Yeah, it's nice seeing wooden toilet on here and a V and some other peeps too. So again, we're just having fun here, folks. And also to the video on demand, we're streaming this concurrently to YouTube, and that video on demand will be again available if anyone wants to share it or again watch it after the fact. My Twitch stream doesn't get saved on Twitch for long periods of time, as I've learned with Twitch. So definitely want to like learn about Alps or how to build an Alps board. This is kind of how you do it. So so it'll be on the YouTube channel if you want to watch it. Have playback after the fact. It'll be there basically forever. So that's pretty good. So we're just doing our F row, and then we're gonna test those, and we should be pretty good. All right, we got that one going. Sweet. All right, awesome, 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 folks. We're just making sure we're good in solder, making sure all the joints are good. There we go. Awesome. Sweet. That one is going good. We're going to pull this one out too. Awesome. There we go. Looking good, folks. Just doing that F row. Let's get a little more solder on that one. There we go. Yeah, it's just coming along, folks. Just slow and steady soldering. Just take your time. You're not in a rush when you do it. You want to have a nice steady hand when you do it. You don't want to burn anything accidentally. So I just take my time. I get into a rhythm. And they overall should come out pretty good at the end of the day. So we're really excited how these are coming out. So just taking our time as we do this, soldering them in. There we go. Awesome, awesome, folks. There we go. Cool. Awesome. Cool. Just getting that F row in. Yeah, once we have the F row in, then it's pretty straightforward to the end. At least getting the internal assembly built. So there we go. Awesome, awesome, everybody. Perfect. All right, cool. Thanks, Wood and Taylor, for coming on in, my man. It's always fun. So again, we'll get once we get all the again, I'll keep you updated and shoot you a message on Discord about your build and all your parts coming in. So again, slowly but surely, we'll get that build done. It's gonna look friggin' awesome. So good luck, man. Awesome. So we're getting it going. Look, a nice wooden toilet having coming through one of the clients we're doing builds for. So again, if you are a person who's interested in Alps builds, let me know. Like, I'd be happy to build a commission for you, and we can have your build featured on stream too. So if you're cool with that. So yeah, another thing too I do with Alps builds too, like for these commissions, I'm asking the clients like, hey, are you cool? I stream your build online, and if the client says yeah, they're cool with that, I'm like, cool. It'll get featured. But if a client were to say like, hey, I don't want my build on stream, I wouldn't build the board on stream. That's just, again, it's their money, it's their build. So I just want to make sure that they are cool with it. Because at the end of the day, this is, again, this builds like this are not my personal builds. So we want to be respectful to the wishes of the client. But yeah, this client's really cool. They're really awesome, and I'm really happy to get this board for them. I'm very grateful that they reached out and are allowing me to do this. So client builds, I think, are really rewarding because, again, I'm being able to spread the love of Alps to people in the community. So it's really nice just to be able to spread that. And we're almost done with this F row. We have one, I think, on my F2 switch, and then we'll be good to start testing those. There we go. Awesome. Let's turn that off, and let's see what we got. All right, cool. We got some nice solder joints, and that's pretty good. Oh, I missed one. Oops, you don't want to miss them. There you go. I missed one. Dang it. Let's fix that. All right. There we go. I don't want to miss. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, well, I don't want to miss switches. That's not good. All right, there we go, folks. All right, cool. That is good. Let that dry up. There we go. Look at that. All right, we got our F row soldered in. So we're almost there, folks. We got the perimeter, pretty much the perimeter of the board. So we're gonna test these really quick in VIA, just to make sure the switches work. Because if we have faulty switches, we gotta replace those. That's just the nature of Alps. They're old, and I usually know what part is usually kind of messed up on it. So we'll get that one going. Come on, Google. This is pretty much my approach to building Alps. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do. I do the perimeter, and then I kind of work myself in. I do them slowly. That's just kind of how I do MX soldering as well. So give me a second. I want to go to my key tester. So, shit. Oh. All right, reset. Okay, give me a second. All right, I think we have a couple dead switches in our F row. I want to go to Vial really quick because I got to test my F13. So give me a second, folks. VIA doesn't have an F13 option. Give me a second. Here we go. All right, F13. Oh, right. All right, give me a second. We gotta check. We gotta change some stuff. Oh God, that's why. Okay, give me a second, folks. Things are not programmed correctly on this particular board. So we got to fix some things. Give me a second. That's my problem. Give me my layout. We want to go to H88. There we go. And give me a second, folks. We're just reprogramming things for... So I'm in Vial right now. My F row is not programmed correctly, so that's probably why we were having some issues. Give me a second. Okay, F13. There we go. All right, cool. Give me a second. Let's go to my matrix really quick. Okay. All right, F1 and F2 are dead, so we need to desolder those switches. So these two switches are faulty. So we got to again pull those switches out, and again desolder those switches and put some new switches in. Again, this is why Alps are a little more slow and involved. It's just you're dealing with old switches and the switch plates are faulty. So I just desolder them and replace them with new switches. That's why you get more switches than you need. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me get this all soldered in, and let's get this Hacko fired up. So yeah. So again, another thing while the Hacko's firing up, again, probably one of my favorite tools I have as part of my soldering setup. Like, this tool is not cheap, but if you are desoldering boards and soldering boards, this tool is absolutely worth it. Again, it's like $300, but again, it absolutely pays for itself if you're doing a lot of solder boards, especially if you're getting into the more like enthusiast level stuff. This just makes life like 1,000 times easier. So we got to desolder F1 and F2 right here. These switches unfortunately have faulty switch plates, so let me unplug this puppy and we will get going. So there we go. No bueno. All right, so we got to desolder these two on right here. So let's get that one going. Ow. There we go. Picked myself pretty good there. It's all good. So, all right, almost done heating up. Once that red light, oh, there we go. All right, let's desolder these puppies. Alright, I think I have a clog on this tool. Yeah, I have a clog. Give me a second, folks. Another thing about this tool, it's very finicky. So you got to know how to maintain it properly. I got a clog of some solder that got stuck, so there we go. So you just kind of clean that puppy out, and then there we go. Alright, we're unclogged now, so let me put my nozzle back on, and then we can start sucking solder properly again. Oh man, that was a nice clog. Look at that. Got clogged up like going to Taco Bell. Look at that. There we go. Awesome. So let's pull those out. Yeah, that was stuck in my Hacko gun. So yeah. So another thing about the Hacko 301, if you do get one, you definitely want to maintain it and clean it after every use. It's a very finicky tool. So these are on the edge, so I can pull these out a little bit easier, which is nice. So there we go. Boop. And boop. So there we go. Alright, so these switches have faulty switch plates, so we're just going to throw those to the side. And again, those will just make a note. Yeah, I know, yummy snacks, I know, right? So, good time. So we're just going to grab a couple more orange Alps, and we're going to solder these puppies in. And they should be good to go. So let's see. So let me make sure. There we go. So, yeah, I mean, Alps very much have the spectrum of the rainbow in terms of their colors. I mean, I have a metric crapload of them, so they kind of look like snacks sometimes. Let's put it that way. So, there we go. Cool. Why is it so blurry? Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. Let's solder these puppies in. So, there we go. All right, F1 and F2. We want to make sure we get cleanly soldered in. Awesome. Cool. Let's get these puppies in. There we go. Cool. Right, that one's in, and then we'll do this one. Cool. All right, so those are in. So we have some new F1 and F2 switches. So let's just double. I'm gonna plug this back into Vial, and we're gonna see if we have proper posting of registering of those key presses. So let me get Vial open up, and we'll see what we are doing. Come on, Vial's a little slow to open up. If you, those of you who are not aware, unfortunately. There we go. All right, I gotta reprogram this thing again. Dang it. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. I'm going to go layout. We are H87, H88. Oh, give me a second, folks. Wait. Dang it. Give me a second. Give me a second, folks. I'm in Vial right now, just figuring some stuff out. Perfect. Alright, let's go to a matrix tester. All right, F1 and F2 work successfully. So that is good. So we have our entire F row. Our home cluster works. So that's good. Our arrows are working. Pretty much all these switches are registering in Vile properly. So we are good to keep moving on. So all we got to do is our numbers and our alpha row. And then we can do some additional tests on this particular board just to make sure everything is verified. So I'm going to take the Hacko away again, just so I have more space. So another really great machine and tool that I enjoy using. So again, if you're getting into solder, definitely consider getting a Hacko. They're absolutely worth it. So, all right, folks, we're going to put those to the side. So now we're going to do our number row. So let's put these little switches in, and we'll kind of go from there. So. All right, so we are making slow but steady progress on this particular board. So it's a fun time, folks. I really enjoy it. So, but yeah, overall Alps. If you're looking to get into Alps, like definitely get into it. Like one thing that's cool, this is kind of like these switches are from 1986. So these are pretty old switches. They're almost 40 years old. So and the fact that the thing that I just kind of marvel at this tech is the fact that it still works. Like, that's just something that's just so amazing to me with these Alps switches and just some of the old retro tech is, like, the fact that this stuff still works after all of these decades is just really awesome and really cool to me. So it's just really nice appreciating this old tech and being able to give these switches new life in modern boards. And, again, these Alps builds that I've been building, whether they be for my personal collection of the clients, like to be able to have boards that are going to continue working for many, many years that are going to be enjoyed and used is really, really rewarding and really awesome for me. So that's really fun. So we're going to do this next row right here. That's our number row. So we're going to get those inserted and soldered in. And we'll then, again, verify and double check them. If there's any that are faulty, we'll just swap them out. So let's get my little solder vent going. And we'll get these boards going through, folks. So it's a nice, easy, really straightforward. We're kind of on the home stretch of soldering. So this, once we get to the numbers and alphas, it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. All right. There we go. Good times. Awesome, awesome. Just making sure those are all looking good. Sweet. Perfect. Going pretty good, everybody. We're getting these switches soldered in, and we're going to make sure that they all are good. All right. Fantastic. Going through. Perfect. Looking good. So we are about halfway through this row, folks. So it's coming along. So again, soldering, if you're interested in getting into soldering, it's pretty easy. It's not the intimidating thing that a lot of people think it is. But especially if someone's newer, like, I absolutely encourage people to explore soldering. Like, it's just, I think the way I prefer going about boards, and especially if you're getting into the world of Alps, this is literally the only way to do it. So, look at that, going well. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome, we got 3 more switches on this row, and then we'll test them and make sure that everything works. All right. Fantastic. All right, almost there. Oh, I gotta do the sound test. Oranges sound so good. Like, I have oranges in my Geon F1 722. Like, they sound so freaking good for what they are. Like, give me a second. Let me go grab my 722. It's a great board. It's over here in the display. Oh my gosh, it's heavy too. It's a heavy boy. So I'll show you my personal orange Alps build. So this is my beige Geon F1 88X 722. I got this board for a steal on Mech Market, but oranges, this has DCS 9009. Really, I think, oh yeah, it sounds so nice. Oranges are a great switch. And again, 9009 is just a classic set. Like, I think it looks amazing on this board. So, yeah, this board is going to sound really, really nice, really satisfying. DCS just has a really nice sound. So I really enjoy DCS. So we got this row, number row. So I'm going to plug this into Vial again, and we are going to test these switches. So just to make sure we don't have any faulty switches, I'm hoping, but it's always kind of a crapshoot with Alps. So that's why we verify everything and test everything, just so when I get it, the client gets the board, they have absolutely nothing to worry about. It's plug and play. So let's go. We're done with the F row, so let's go to my matrix tester. Let's go to my layout really quick, make sure we are H88. Oh, that's sick. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Let's go to the matrix tester. Sorry. All right, cool. Let's test my number row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, 7 doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. Oh, kind of. Not good enough. All right, we have 3 faulty switches here. Oh, fun. All right, so we got 3 faulty switches. I am on this row. It is okay. So press F to pay respects, everybody. Hey, that's why we do this, guys. We're gonna test these. These are just more switches I get to fix. So that's just fun. So 7, 8, 9, 0. So number 7 and 8, and then the plus equals buttons are not working. So these 3 switches right here are faulty. So we're gonna pull those out. We're gonna get the Hacko out and fire it up, and then we're gonna desolder those folks. So that's just kind of the nature of the game. I just put via over here. There we go. Cool. All right, folks, let's get this going. Let me get the Hacko plugged in and fired up. I know. Press F to pay respects, everybody. It's okay. That's what we do this. So it's a fun time. So like I said, like that's part of the fun and the process of Alps. That's why I say, like, when you're doing custom Alps, it very much is a process. It is a process to do these switches correctly. And again, like, that's why I say go very slowly. And if you have faulty switches with faulty switch plates, you definitely just want to make sure that things are good to go. So like I said, we're going to be doing our 7 and 8. And then our plus and our equal switch. Those are faulty. So, but everything else on here works perfectly. So I'm just waiting for my Hacko red light to go off, and then we'll desolder those switches. So this tool is awesome. So we're good to go. So let me do that plus and equals first. Cool. Let me just get that. Awesome. We go over 3, and we have our 7 and our 8. Cool. All right. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to pull those puppies out. I think I have a clog in this thing. Damn it. Oh, look at that. Look at that clog. Ooh. Oh, look at that. It's okay. I think my Hacko 301 went to Taco Bell or something. So it's okay. You can just push it out. There we go. It got constipated. Look at that. Look at that big chunk of solder I got stuck in there. So, I know. So the solder comes from the solder joints. So, so the Hacko FR301, you can get it from places like iFixit, Amazon. Like, Hacko's a pretty big, like, electronics. They just make like tools for repairing electronics. So, oops. Give me a second, folks. So they're overall a really good company. I really enjoy Hacko products. Again, you really just clean it. You just gotta use like files and just stuff like that and clean out. The main thing is just cleaning out the chamber and then the nozzle. That's gonna be kind of your primary areas where you're gonna encounter like solder and stuff that's just gonna kind of gunk up your tool. The Hacko 301, it's a high maintenance tool for sure. But overall, there we go. But once you figure out how to maintain it, it's a great tool. There we go. and it cleanly desolders your switches like every freaking time. So that's it's a great freaking tool, and I absolutely love using it. So, all right, so we got those 3 switches desoldered. Hopefully the 3 switches I pick up are going to be good. The more budget options, I have personally have not tried them, so I really can't give an opinion. The Hakko is just kind of like your Cadillac, like your most high end of like desolder guns or desolder tools. So it's very much the most fancy and most expensive option. So that's just kind of my experience with it. But like, it's a good tool. I just think if I look at it, I very much saw it as an investment, as a tool that I utilize for solder boards. Like I have a lot of boards in my collection. Oh, what's up, Rooster 808? So welcome on the stream. So we're building a orange Alps build for a client. So, and we're kind of doing troubleshooting for this. This is not my personal build. This is some build that someone is paying for me. This is a Geon Frog TKL. So really cool board. I'm really excited to get this one going. There we go. Got that switch pulled out. So we're just making sure that we're getting these boards. We have a couple dead switches in here, so we're just gonna make sure we get those in there. Hold up. There we go. Awesome. So there's one we're going to throw to the side. So we got one of the switches out. Want to get this one out. So yeah, Alps are awesome. They're fun. They're a labor of love, and they're a lot of work. They're a very slow process, but this is a build I want to get out pretty quick. I want to get built and shipped out probably on Monday to the client. This particular client had is commissioning 2 different builds from me. So the other one is a Geon F1 8X V2. That one's gonna take more time because we're waiting on parts to come in for it, and actually the actual board to come from Australia. But this board, when they reached out for an orange build, I told them like, hey, I have all the parts on hand for a frog. Like, so if you want to commission the frog, like I can get this out like by Monday. And the guy said, yeah, let's do it. So really cool. So this is a really cool commission build. I'm working on 3 other commission builds right now. 2 for 2 other clients, and then of course his Geon F1 8X. We're just waiting on the parts to come in. My other 2 commission builds that I'm also doing we're just waiting on parts. We're waiting on PCBs to come in from Karolus, and then plates to get made by Tom over at Hype Keyboards. So we're just waiting on those parts. So we're just pulling. Come on. Some of these are more stubborn and need finessing. So there we. Press F to pay respects. It's okay. No. Alright, so I'm going to put that, give me a second, I broke a bottom housing on an Alps switch, it's okay. That's why you have extra switch, that's why you have extra parts, everybody, hold up. That's why I have like all these extra parts. Give me a second, let me just get an extra bottom housing for the Alps switch. Where are you? There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So, good times, everybody, good times, so. That's why you have spare parts, look at that. Oh, all right. We got one more we got to pull out, and then we'll try some new Alps switches. So where are you? There you go. Let's get this in there. Cool. There we go. Awesome, everybody. Well, thank you, friends, for joining. It's a fun time. Alps are very much a labor of love, and they are a lot of work, but they are rewarding. So let's pull the switch plate out. So the switch plate is the part that's faulty. Again, it's just, these are just 40-year-old switches. They're just, so some of the switch plates just are not the best, in the best condition. So there's nothing I can do on my restoration end to kind of fix those. You just got to swap the switch plate out. So that's why I have a ton of Alps parts on hand, just to be able to fix faulty switches and have extra switch plates. I've experienced that issue building pretty much every Alps build. You're just going to have some dead switches that you've harvested, and you just got to deal with it. So, all right, cool. All right, we got those 3 out. All right, let's put 3 new switches in, and let's get those put into the board. So let's get some orange Alps in here. Let's grab 3 switches. Make sure we are good. Let's inspect them. Yeah, these should be good. Awesome. So let's put these in, and we should be good to kind of continue on the build process. So there we go, folks. There we go. All right, let's solder those in. Let's get my little vent plugged in. Let's get that fired up, and we'll test these switches. So let's get some solder going, and we'll see how we are. Here we go. All right, folks, let's get these soldered in. All right. There we go. Let's see what we got. All right. There we go. That one's good. That's not. There we go. Awesome. In a second. There we go, folks. All right. All right, we got those 3 soldered. Oops, sorry about that. Got those 3 switches soldered in. So let's see if we can get these going. So there we go. Let me put them in. Let me just test that number row. And let's make sure this is good to go. Let's just see. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 works. Ah, I was not lucky. 7 is still faulty. Damn. Ah, that sucks. That's okay. Part of the process of building Alps, everybody. So part of the process. You gotta trust the process. So I feel like a Philadelphia fan now. Trusting the process. So we got that 7 switch, 2 for 2. So hopefully the 3rd time's a charm with that one, folks. Let's just get it going. Before I air up the Hacko. And we'll get that number 7. So we got 4, 5. There we go. Yeah, that one feels weird anyway. So, all right, number 7. So we gotta get that switch desoldered, and we'll try it again. So, yeah, it is what it is, folks. How we do this. So, give me a second. We're just waiting for that red light to come off. That's telling us our hack. There we go. Right, sweet. We are good there, folks. Awesome. So, all right, we're gonna try another. We're gonna do take 2 on that number 7 switch and see how that goes. So, yep, that one. So let's pull that one out, folks. Again, that's why Alps just kind of take the time. But we're gonna have this build done by the end of this evening and get this to the client. This is a course. If you realize you're anyone who's new here, again, this is a client commission build. So I want to make sure that this build is absolutely perfect internally and mechanically. So we just have a faulty switch plate again, so it sucks. But it's what you get when you work with 40-year-old Alps. So let me just get some. Give me a second. Let me see. Not those. These ones. We're going to bring in some more Alps just to kind of give us a... See, everybody, when I tell you I have orange Alps, I got orange Alps. So I got Alps for days. I probably have a few hundred of these. I have a few hundred Alps. So, yeah, if you want to build the Alps build, let me know. I'm like, I got you. I got parts. I can do it for you. Oh my god, yeah, that was... Oh, dude, that's not even... I have more of these. These are just the ones that are restored and cleaned. So, like I said, orange, I've kind of learned... I'm probably going to have more of a stockpile of orange Alps because I'm realizing they're very popular. And the fact that 3 of my commission builds so far have been orange Alps. So I think I might just have like an extra... I'm just probably going to stock up on orange Alps because it's a very popular switch. I think orange Alps, I think, are the best bang for the buck for tactiles in Alps. Like, again, are they as good as brown Alps? No, I think brown Alps are the best tactile Alp. But they're also expensive. Like, you're looking about, again, for a set for a TKL, you're looking about $400 to $500. Yeah. Oh, dude, I have more boards coming in for harvesting. I have a couple boards coming in. That are dead. So I have a board with green Alps coming in, and then I have a board coming in with white clicky Alps. So, yeah, I've always have boards coming in. I also just scroll eBay. If I see, like, an old dead board for, like, 20 or 30 bucks online, I'm just going to buy it and just harvest the switches. Like, again, I also just hunt for deals on eBay. So, I just try to see what I can find. And, again, like, it's just good having a good stockpile of Alps. Like, Naveed's seen my MX switch library. My MX switch library has... probably, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 switches in it, and I want to have my my Alps library is gonna probably be close, probably not as that big, but like I'll probably have like 100-150 per Alps switch type when I'm done like filling up. So, oh yeah, dude, I have thousands and thousands of switches, and it's nice having them on hand too because like if someone wanted me to do an MX build, Or some of these reviews I'm getting in, like, most of them are going to be Cherry MX. I have a ton of switches on hand. I can kind of gauge interest online to kind of say, like, hey, what switches are we going to build with it? Like, also have a truckload of GMK keycaps on hand. So, so there's a lot of options we can do with building boards, whether it be for clients, reviews, or just personal builds. So, like, I just like having the parts on hand. Like, for example, a lot of the boards that I've purchased with my own money on Group Buy, I have all the switches, I have all the keycaps on hand for those boards. So that's something that is just really nice. So, all right, let's make sure that number 7 is working. Like, third time's the charm, everybody. Let's see. We have a metric crap load of Orange Alps here with another, like, 100 or so I got to still restore. So, like, Orange Alps are the way to go. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. What the heck is up with 7? Give me a second. 7 is still being faulty. That is really weird. I think I'm going to take that one out. I think I'm going to take 7 out. And probably going to come back to number 7. I don't know what the heck is up with that. That's really weird. Alright, I'm going to do some troubleshooting. I really want that number 7 to work right here. Like, there's no way I had 3 dead switches in a row. I'm going to pull out Matthias. So we're going to do some troubleshooting. I mean, that's what we're here on stream, guys. You can kind of see my methodology. So I'm going to pull out a Matthias switch. This is not going to be in the final build. This is one of the white Matthias clickies. But I want to... Yeah. So, all right. Peace to the V. It's all good, my man. But we're basically going to go through and figure out some troubleshooting. So I want to see what the heck is going on. Because there's no way I had 3 dead switches in a row. So let's kind of see what's going on here. There is something going on with this switch socket. So let's kind of see what the heck is going on. So we're going to let me fire up the Hacko really quick. And we're going to see what's going on with that switch. There's no way I had 3 dead switches. So we're going to put a Matthias in here for right now. And see what's going on. That's not okay. So let me just let things get back in focus. Let me get that red light. We're just waiting for that red light. Come on. Focus in. Come on. You're killing me, computer. All right. So, just waiting for the Hacko to fire up, folks, and we'll get this one going. Come on, come on. There we go. All right, there's no way I had 3 dead switches in there. All right. There we go. There we go. Let's see. So, let's see what we got here. I don't know. There's no way that's being that weird. So we're gonna stick a Matthias in here and see what we got. So there we go. Let's pull that spring out, and then we're gonna pull out this switch plate. Like, I don't know what the heck's going on with number 7. We might just save it for later and do 7 later. But that's really weird having 3 of 3 for 3 dead switches. It could just be a faulty socket. We'll see. But we're going to kind of troubleshoot it and kind of see what's up. There we go. All right. I'm going to put this one in. I'll just put my switch plate in here. And then we're going to get this one going. So, well, again, if you're joining on the stream, welcome, folks. It's a fun time. Go by Sergeant Finley, folks, online. But I like building computers. I like building keyboards. This is a commission build for our client. So, having trouble with this socket, I think I'm going to hold off on kind of going through switches. We're going to move on to the next row. I'm going to come back to this one. I'm really confused as to what the heck is going on with that socket. So we're going to go through and do some of the other rows. And we're going to go to. So we're going to start doing the alphas. But Alps are very much a labor of love. They are a process. And we're going to get through it. So that's what we're going to do. So we're just pulling out Orange Alps and putting them in there. So these Orange Alps are from 1986. They came from an Apple extended keyboard that I harvested. And again, when I harvest Alps switches, I preferably try to go with dead keyboards. I don't like killing perfectly good keyboards. That just doesn't feel good. So I try to do my best hunting down online or just locally dead keyboards that have Alps switches. And Orange Alps have been pretty popular for commissions. I'm doing 3 commission builds right now that where the client specifically requested Orange Alps. So look at that, folks. We are going good. So let's see what we got. That is so weird. I don't know what's up with that. That socket looks fine. The diode is fine. All right, let's figure it out. All right, folks, we're going to solder these ones in. So let's put the switches to the sides, get my little vent out, and we're going to go across, and let's do it. So let's see what we got. All right. Let's solder these in. Cool. Just making sure. We're just kind of working our way through, folks. Just working our way down the line of the row. So we're just kind of working away, but again, Alps, if you're going to get into Alps, soldering is pretty much the way to go. There is no hot swap, unfortunately. When you get into the world of Alps, solder is your only option. So that's why I do these commissions, because Alps are a lot of work. They are a labor of love, and they're not as straightforward as Cherry MX builds. So that's just the one thing with Alps. Again, it's very much is a process, and you got to take your time. You got to be patient. These built like, I did a test 65 this morning on stream, and we were done in about 90 minutes with the board. Whereas Alps, you really got to take your time, and like we said, we have troubleshooting we got to do with these boards to make sure that they're perfect for the clients. But overall, like, it's just as long as you take your time and you're patient and you're fine doing some troubleshooting in the build process, you should be fine. But the thing with Alps, even though they are a lot of work, they are absolutely worth it in the end. These boards are awesome, and these switches are like nothing else I've ever used. Like, I love my Cherry MX boards. I love Taupe and like Hall effects, but there's just something that keeps me coming back to Alps. Like, they're a really, really unique type of switch, and they're just fantastic. And I also really recommend, if you can use OG Alps switches, that's the way to go. I mean, like, Matthias switches will get you like 90% of their way there, but like, if you can afford to do OG Alps, that is the way to go. That's what I honestly recommend. Just give me a second, folks. We're just checking some stuff. Cool. Just making sure. Sorry, I'm just checking some stuff, making sure tolerances and things are good. Okay, we have some problems, folks, so give me a second. So, alright. Alright, that's not what I expected. We gotta fix those. Okay, cool. Alright, I think I know what I think I have a solution to my problem. So, I'm noticing some of my switches are not entirely flush with the PCB. So, I'm gonna have to do some desoldering really quick and make sure that those are 100% right. So, this happens when you deal with flex cut PCBs. The flex cuts aren't really going to affect the final board, but hey, that's what you guys can kind of see into my kind of madness when I do builds, especially when we're live on stream. So I'm going to desolder these two rows really quick. I just want to make sure this is 100% right. It's not right for me. And again, once we get to the end and everything's soldered on, we're going to figure out what the heck is going on with that particular switch, because that is definitely a problem, and we don't want that. So, but yeah, it's a process, folks. Alps are definitely a process. So we're just kind of taking our time, going nice and slow, making sure that these boards are going to be, I mean, crap, we've been doing this for almost 2 hours, people. So it is a good time. So there we go. Pack of guns fired up, so let's just fire these up. Alright, give me a second. I think we got some clogs in there. No, good. We are good. So, sorry, I'm just doing some desoldering. There's some solder points that I'm not 100% fine with. And again, I want this board to be pretty, again, properly correct. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're making our way slowly but surely, everybody. Awesome, awesome, everybody. So, good times. Alright, so we're making our way slowly but surely, everybody. We're just kind of going through. Give me a second. Anyone? Almost there, folks. Alright, we got these desoldered, folks. So, that is pretty good. So, again, just, you know, part of the process of Alps, everybody. Those solder joints weren't exactly what I wanted. I just kind of noticed some imperfections, so we're going to fix those. Let me just get my... There we go. Cool. Alright, we're going to do... That's what happens when we do these things live on stream, folks. You get to see the actual build process genuinely, which is pretty good, so... Yeah, we're going to, like, make sure everything is pushed down. Give me a second. Give me a second, folks. Making sure. Awesome. We're just making sure everything is good. So, awesome. So, really cool, folks. So, let me get my soldering iron fired up again. And let's try this a different time. Let's try that again. There we go. Ah, fun times, everybody. Fun times. So, like, that's just the point. And that's just the fun of Alps. Is, sometimes you don't get them entirely the way you want them, but alright. Just gonna do that once, get my vent going. There we go. Alright, let's just make sure that these are 100% down. There we go. Awesome. You know, that's how we want our Alps. Nice and flat. Perfect. Good times, everybody. Good times. Getting those in there. So let me get that one. Alright, cool. That is fantastic. Cool. Awesome. Let's keep it going. So I think we're going to be pretty solid. And go over here. So, just making sure that these are nice and good, folks. So, okay, nice. Yeah. So happens you have these flex cut PCBs. The switches sometimes won't be entirely flush with the PCB. So we just want to. I'm just doing some right here that are just gonna hold all the switches down. So that's what we're doing. Making sure we have a nice flush PCB. So looking good. I'm going to just go over to this side and pull those over, and then we'll kind of see what we are doing right here. So, alright. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, folks. So, yeah, welcome, folks. For those who are still on, awesome. Thank you for coming. Again, we're just doing this client commission build, so that's part of the process of what we do. There we go. Alps are a labor of love, folks. All right, now I think we're good to start soldering these puppies down. I think that gives me the yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we're looking for. So let me do this top rows. I know these are all good. Cool. Let me reset this top row really quick. Awesome, awesome, everybody. So we're going good. We're making our way. This is our custom client commission build. Really good board. Again, this is going to be a GeonWorks Frog TKL. So, really excited to get this board to the client and get everything working. Alright, that's good. Alright. Want to make sure that's going good. Awesome, awesome, friends. We're getting it going. Alright. Almost there, everybody. Alright, here we go. Alright, cool. We got that top row. Let's get this second row going. Fantastic. Making our way. So we're going through, folks. So it's just kind of nice. Alright, making our way. So, yeah, I still got someone on here. Again, like I said, this will be on VOD tomorrow, folks. So, just making our way through the solder process. But thank you for my person who is still watching on the stream. You are awesome. Like I said, we're just here to have fun, folks. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy here having fun. So... Get that one in. Let's do this one. Awesome. Cool. Almost there, folks. All right, so cool. All right, let's see. Looking good. All right, let's turn the vent off. Let's get this going. Let's test these switches. Where look at that. Look, it's almost looking like a keyboard. Look at that. We got 2 more rows. So let's go open up. Let's reset and let's do. Cool. So my W is faulty. That's fine. just testing out all of our switches just to make sure we're all good. Cool. All right, let's get that W desoldered. So we just want to get our W, and then we're going to get that one going. So again, this is just part of the process, folks. Alps are a labor of love. Like, they take a while. So let's get this Hacko fired up again, and we're going to get that W. So second one in. So that W right here is what we're going to desolder, and then put a new switch right there, folks. So that's what we are working on. So just waiting for that red light to turn off, and then we're going to desolder that one. Again, that 7 is still being weird. I'm going to come back to that. I have some ideas on how we're going to fix that. But yeah, there we go. There we go. Cool. All right. So got that board desoldered, so let's pull that one out. So let's disassemble that one. There we go. Awesome. So let's pull that out. There we go. We got our spring. Fan-friggin-tastic. Awesome. Oh, what's up, Chris? What's up, fucker? What's up, my dude? So yeah, we're having fun, Chris. I got paid an ungodly amount of money for this. So yeah, doing this client commission build, but it's part of troubleshoot. Oh. Huh. Alright, well, that one's foobar. So, what's up, Chris? We've had a few people on. I know it's a little later. I had some folks mainly on the East Coast and like Europe on here with me earlier, so those people had to go to bed. So, I'm putting this I'm going to put this is concurrently streaming as a VOD onto my YouTube channel. So, we are just chilling, my man. So, yeah, if you want to just listen to me figure out keyboard shit, go for it. Oh, man, that's busted. Look at that. I put a hole in that. That's a big ass hole. It's okay. That's why we have spare. That's why we got spare ones. That's why we got spare. So we'll put that together. That's yeah, that's a very foobar. Well, yeah. Well, I don't think they're saving that one. It's okay. So we're having fun, folks. Like I said, we're just kind of going through. This is a high-end commission build I'm doing for a client. This guy commissioned me to do 2 builds for him. So we're just kind of going through. So we're just slowly building it. Also, Chris, these switches are probably about as old as you. These switches I'm using are from 1986, so pretty crazy. So they're way older than me. So I didn't exist when these orange switches right here. These were made in the 80s. So good times. So let me just see if that W works. Oh wait. Shit. Oh man, you're older than these switches. Man, look at you. Look at you. Okay, that's still being faulty. That's not a good switch. Damn. I know. Look at you. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing keyboard shit. But yeah, I'll tell you, I did a stream this morning for building a keyboard for a friend, and the company that manufactured the keyboard and like designed it, the CEO of the company was on the stream, and he really liked what I did. So he's going to make me an affiliate with their company. So they're probably going to be sending me stuff in the future to review on stream, which is going to be really cool. So I'm really excited to kind of work with that company. They're called Divinity. They just make like keyboards, keycaps, other stuff that's like really good. So I'm really excited to be an affiliate with them. We're going to kind of hammer out like logistics in the deal. And they also have a keyboard that they want me to custom build. They're going to commission me to do a keyboard for them. So, which is going to be really cool. It'll be on display in their corporate offices. So I'm like really, really stoked about that. Okay, so yeah, that switch just wasn't exactly right. So I want to make it. Yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, I'm not expecting to get big or anything like that. But who knows? If this turns into something like, I'm not quitting my day job. But if I can go into and like be like, have this be like a genuine fun side gig, that's awesome. So like, and like I said, like it'd be cool to like maybe become like an affiliate eventually on like Twitch and whatnot. So I don't know, maybe picking your brain later on and like, how do I make that happen? So it's honestly, I like the live streaming portion of it more so than like the video editing. Like I'm more genuinely interested. Oh yeah, dude, I'm more interested in like the Twitch stuff than like the YouTube stuff. So like if I can do stuff live on stream, I like the interaction I can do with like an audience and people. Like I think that's just more rewarding for me at the end of the day. So let's see. Okay, that switch should be fine. All right, let's solder the switch in and let's see if that one works. So we had a little bit of a signal response. So it's just, yeah, when you're working with switches from the 80s, like they're very finicky. So like this client, like this is a very expensive keyboard. This client paid me like I'll put it this way, Chris. This keyboard is paying for Comic-Con, or a good chunk of Comic-Con. Let's put it that way. So like I want this to be absolutely perfect. Considering that this is a very, very high-end client. Like the two builds they're doing like are very high-end and very expensive, and they're paying me a lot to do it. So like I want that to be absolutely perfect. All right, there we go. We got a good switch registry now. All right, we're good with that row. All right, let's move on to our next row, and let's get to that one going. So yeah, so also as you can see too, Chris, I got my little overlay right here. So it's nothing too fancy. So like I said, like eventually as time goes on, I'll have like more like this. I think the production value, like an overlay, will look a little bit better. But like for right now, for the purposes of what I'm doing, I think that's just having the socials where people can kind of like figure out like, hey, like this is where you follow him and whatnot. I think that's like more than sufficient for me just kind of getting started. So yeah, but it'll be cool. But also, I think I don't know if I've told you, like I have some reviews. I scored some keyboards I'm going to do for review. So I have 3 keyboards that are going to be going to pre-order probably before the end of the year, but they're kind of doing their marketing and production right now and sending out to content creators. And I reached out to the creators and I just said like, hey, like I would love to promote your boards. Like I'm fine with not keeping them. Like I would just want to build it on stream, promote it, and tell people why they should buy it. And then I can either mail it back to you or I can send it to the next content creator. So that's something that's just really cool, like being able to promote stuff that I genuinely believe in. Like the stream I did this morning, the keyboard I built for my friend, we bought the boards together during the pre-order last year, but we paid for our own money for them. Like they weren't set. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely probably move it away. I just kind of did it because like so to let other people kind of see it on screen. So I'll probably take that feedback and have like a separate window, and kind of move that off screen. I think that's actually a great suggestion. I was just kind of following one of the keyboard YouTubers I really like has a stream on screen like that. I was just kind of mimicking that, but I'm honestly going to take that advice because I kind of like having the whole screen available to like what I am doing. So if I can move the chat off screen into like another window, like people can just have Twitch open on their phone. I think that would be really good. So yeah, so definitely going to move this. I'll definitely move the chat to a separate window. So I'm going to get these switches kind of soldered in and move on to the next. We got 2 more rows and I got to figure out that number 7 on the keyboard is being really weird. So we just got to do some trial and error and figure out. I'm going to do that one at the very end. But this is a really cool build for the client. So, all right, let's get these soldered in. And we got some more people on here. Welcome, friends. Welcome, welcome. Again, for people who are just jumping on, we are working on a custom build for a client. So this is an orange Alps Frog TKL for a client. So we're currently soldering in switches. Just making sure everything looks good and flush. So we're just kind of soldering in all the switches. So that is pretty good. So we're just making sure. Give me a second, folks. Awesome. So, ooh, I got some peeps on YouTube watching me too. Hell yeah. Welcome, friends. Welcome, welcome. So if you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Like, this is fun. Again, teaching people about Alps builds and keyboards. Overall, like, Alps are a really cool switch type, folks. Alps were primarily manufactured from the 1970s to early 2000s. They were kind of they were one of the most dominant companies on the market for mechanical keyboards. They were even bigger than Cherry. In the world of mechanical keyboards today, Cherry MX is kind of like the gold standard for mechanical switches, and they dominate the market. But in the 80s and 90s, Alps was bigger than Cherry. And that's something that's really interesting. Things were changing in the late 90s, early 2000s. People were moving away from mechanical keyboards and moving to membrane keyboards, which were much quieter. So Alps Electric, who manufactured Alps keyboards and keyboard switches, sold off their keyboard division. And Alps Electric is still around today, but they mainly focus on like the industry, more like industrial purposes for electronics. That I really don't deal with the consumer market anymore. So their switches are probably some of the best keyboard switches ever made, and there's been a movement within the keyboard hobby over the past few years to essentially harvest the switches from old keyboards and put them into modern keyboards. And that's what I'm doing right here. These switches are called Orange Alps switches. They're tactile switches, so when you press down on the switch, you feel a little tactile bump, which is really nice. And then but these switches were manufactured in 1986, and they actually came from an old Apple extended keyboard that would have been sold with old Macintosh computers. So that's something that's really kind of cool. So like I've kind of harvested a bunch of old Apple keyboards, and they come from an era when Apple actually made good keyboards. I'm not a Mac hater at all, but the keyboards that Apple sells with their computers today absolutely suck. They are not good keyboards. Unfortunately, like, so for my Mac users out there, if you're definitely getting like a Mac desktop, throw the Apple keyboard in the trash and go get yourself a proper mechanical keyboard, or just get yourself a proper keyboard in general. Like, Apple makes other good stuff, but just their keyboards today suck, and that sucks because Apple does make some really cool products, and they have a really, really cool history. A couple weeks ago, I got to go to the Computer History Museum up in Silicon Valley, and being able to see like some of the original Apple stuff. Like, they had an Apple I on display, like the computer that started a revolution in personal computing. That was really, really cool. So that's one thing I think is just really kind of cool. So we're just getting it going. So cool, we got that row done. So let's move my little vent over here. So we have one more row. We're kind of trouble. I'm just kind of going row by row. Since these switches are almost 40 years old, again, you might have some dead parts with inside them. I've restored these switches and thoroughly cleaned them. But the switch plate, which is the part that has the pins, those can get corroded and just ultimately will not send a signal to the PCB. So I just kind of go switch by switch, installing them just to double check if they are all good. So now this one right here is number 7. For some reason that I'm having trouble getting that one to register, so we're gonna do that one at the very end. I have an idea to make sure that one is working properly. So I have my keyboard software opened up. So let me just double check. Yeah. Oh yeah. What's up, Nick? You just finished soldering your F1. So I mean, MX blacks on aluminum is just kind of like the classic configuration. Okay, sweet. This entire row works. We're good. So yeah, I mean, Cherry MX blacks. I mean, here, let me grab my. Let me show you. Here's my keyboard flex for the night. So, for those of you in the hobby, those of you who know keyboards, you know what this is. So, this is my Singa Kohaku. So, oh yeah, dude. Yeah, well, it's funny. One of my friends here is on stream is Jester 1775. I built him a really high-end custom keyboard and mailed it to him recently. So we did a custom Cerakote, and we also when I visited him, I brought some switches for him to try out, and then we figured out keycaps that fit his colorway and his aesthetic. Go on my Instagram, you can kind of see his board. It's probably one of my favorite custom boards I've ever done. But this is my Kohaku. This has Cherry MX blacks and aluminum. They relatively are quiet, so Niku, I definitely agree with you on the mindset. They're quieter, but I really like, especially on like a Kohaku, they just sound and feel so good. So, like, that's just a really good board that I love. So, Kohaku's probably one of my favorite MX boards that I have in my collection. Like, and also, like, for those of you who may not be like really in tune with the keyboard hobby, that green keyboard I just showed you is like probably one of the more sought after and prized keyboards in the hobby. People pay absurd amounts of money. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That build probably isn't it. You may want to try something else. Maybe try Nixie's, or like maybe like a Gateron switch. Like, Nick, if you're looking for a switch that's really cool, try Gateron Grayish. It's from Gateron's budget line, but they just don't get scared off of the term budget. But it's a really nice long pole stem that produces a very loud, clacky profile. Like, I would definitely explore Gateron Grayish. You can get them really, really cheap from a lot of vendors. But like Gateron Grayish is awesome. Like, I can kind of show you what they look like. I have a metric crap load of them on hand. Give me a second. What the heck are they? And those are the root beer floats. Here they are. Give me a second. Let me pull them out. So, Gateron Grayish. So they're a tactile. They're about 59 grams, but these are a really nice switch. Like really, really nice sound profile on those switches. So like Gateron Grayish, probably one of my all-time favorite MX switches. Like, here, let me show you a build I got. I have them in. So like another like cool board I got. I mean, another thing too, like my collection is like banger after banger. So this is my W1AT. So another really cool Geon board, has GMK Winkler. But cool thing about this board, these switches sound fantastic. So, I don't know. That's just a recommendation. If you're looking for a switch, like, maybe try out, like, this is a Geon board. Like, it is plateless at the end of the day, but it's a long pole stem. It's, like, super clacky. So, definitely check out Gateron Grayish. Like, that could be potentially the switch you're looking for. But we're almost done with this board, and then that number 7's being really weird. So, I'm probably going to test it out with some Matthias switches that I know work for sure. So, we have one more row on this board, and then we should be good to start putting keycaps and do final assembly. So let's just kind of see. Oh, dude, Grayish is so cheap. And again, don't get freaked out by budget. It's an amazing switch. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, I want an F260 so bad. Like, it's on my like list of purchases to get for later this year. Like, it's such a beautiful board. Like, I have a GeonWorks Frog Mini Ligera with green Alps and Apple extended keycaps. The F260 I can't convert to Alps, unfortunately. It's just there's not the proper clearances for the JST and whatnot, according to Karolus. But I have a really badass idea for an MX build in that board. I cannot wait. So I'm very jealous. Yeah, you definitely got to whenever your F260 is built, like, shoot me some pictures on like Discord. I want to see that build. That's going to be a super, super sick board. I am all very, very jealous. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a great price. Also, hell yeah to 420. You got it for 420. That's a great price. Snoop Dogg will be very happy at that price. So, all right. Cool. Got that one in. So, we're just making good work of this board, folks. So, but yeah, Jester1775, thanks for the suggestion. I'm definitely going to take some of your suggestions for some of the future streams. Jester1775, I wanted to let you know, like, we're going to be doing a stream at 5 p.m. PST on Monday with a Porsche theme build. I know, Chris, you're like a racing guy. So, just to kind of advertise it, folks, and maybe spread the word, we're building one of these. This is themed after the Porsche 917. This is my personal board, but my friend also has this board, and he's going to have me build it. So, oh my God, Nicky, that's really cool. So yeah, if you guys want to see this Porsche board, that's the air intake of the race car. The Porsche 917 was part of Porsche racing in the late 60s and early 1970s, and it dominated the world of racing. It won Le Mans back-to-back in 1970 and 1971. So this is themed after their Gulf Oil livery. Really cool board. There's only about 51 of these in existence, and we're going to have the actual creator of the board on stream with me as I build it. So it's a really sick board. So Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be building one of these with for my friend and have the creator on stream. So that'll be really cool. So his name's Treeleaf. That's what he goes by, his handle. So really cool dude, and proud to call him a friend. So that's one thing we will be doing on Monday, building that board. So yeah, my friend had a couple of boards. Oh, I'm so jealous, dude. Stuttgart. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm a big Porsche fan. Like, it is my ultimate dream car. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford a Porsche, but I would absolutely love it. Like, one of my good friends, he's been very successful in his career, and he has a Porsche GT3 RS. And I was at his shop a few weeks ago, and he said, "Hey man," and he had the Porsche in the parking lot, and he said, "Hey man, do you want to drive the GT3 RS?" I'm like, "No, dude. It's a $400,000 car." and I'm like, I'd feel like I'd break it just by looking at it. So like I told him if he ever goes, the next time he goes to the I'm not calling it a Porsche, it's Porsche. So yeah, but yeah, Porsches are awesome. They're beautiful cars, like my all-time favorite. Every time I see a Porsche on the highway, whether it's like a new one or a classic one, like it's cool. Like my uncle who's retired, he's a retired oil executive. Like I say, like 2 months ago, he bought a Porsche GT3, and I'm like, what? Who just goes out and buys a Porsche GT3? Oh yeah, no. I mean, I would love to have a Ferrari themed build, but like I said, Chris, one of the boards I'm reviewing is a McLaren. I'm gonna get it in August. It's a McLaren P1 themed keyboard. So the creator of that board, his name is Luke, and it's called a BP1. And he's really trying to get it out of the pre-order phase, but he's trying to navigate the tariff, tax, and import situation right now in the United States. But I've been following the board for several months, so I reached out to Luke and I asked him, like, hey man, like I really want to support this board and get word out, because it's been a minute since the board's been on live stream. He only has 3 prototypes, but he's really trying to figure out how we can get it to manufacture at an affordable price where the board's not like $1,000 where like no one can afford it. So I told him like I would be happy to promote it on stream. So he's out of the country right now. He's actually, funny thing, he's in Germany. But he said when he gets back to the United States, he'll mail me the board, and we'll figure out we'll schedule a date and time to put it on stream. We can have Luke on stream with me to kind of walk through. So, oh, dude, the 992 is sick. But I think the GT3 RS is probably, for the money, probably one of the best track cars you can get. I mean, I say for the money, it's like a $400,000 car, but like when you're looking at other track cars that are pushing almost $1 million or $1 million plus, like $400K for a amazing track car is pretty good. So, and my buddy takes his Porsche GT3 RS to the track all the freaking time. So I definitely got to hit him up when he hits the track, because I would love to be in the passenger seat in that freaking car, because it's a work of art. I love that car. It is my Uber dream car. But yeah, the 992 is super sick too. But like, I would love to go to Stuttgart one day and like go to the Porsche museum. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. Oh yeah, my buddy also makes enough money where he could replace it. So that's another thing. So like, he's very much a baller. Like, he's in another tax bracket from me. Well, it's funny. I saw a video. I think it went viral. But some people were racing like their Porsches on the track, and they crashed. And I'm like, that's like $1 million crash right there. And I'm like, shit. But like, one of my buddies on here is also like a Formula One fan. And, like, I love Formula One, but when you see those crashes on Formula One, I'm like, that is a $20 million car that it just got destroyed. I'm like, oh my god, my heart. So, yeah. I mean, Formula One's cool too. Yep, that's exactly the one. And I'm like, my poor heart, man. I like seeing Porsches crash or damage just hurts my soul. As someone who genuinely loves those cars. Like, they're beautiful, and I think Porsche, I just love, yeah. Oh shit, I hope they were insured. Like that was just a very sad video. They just hurt my soul, because again, I love Porsche, and to have like a Porsche themed board is like really cool. Like, I love my 917. It's probably the most beautiful board. Oh yeah, I know. I think the guy walked away relatively unscathed, thank God. So I'm glad the driver was okay, but like, I'm really bummed, like, the car, like, it just, part of me that loves Porsches and just nice cars like that, it breaks my soul. So, I have a couple car themed keyboards. I also have the Keybay W70, which is super sick. Once I'm done soldering, I can show you all that one. That's another, like, car themed keyboard I have, like, so I love keyboards that are themed to something. Like the Porsche 917 board that I got, or like my W70. It's themed after the Toyota AE86 from the anime Initial D. Really, really cool board. If you can ever track down a W70, definitely check it out. It's awesome. I'll show you what makes that board just absolutely amazing. So, yeah, there we go. Alright, so we got that, most of the soldering done. Yeah, I mean, it can be produced again, you're absolutely right, but let me show you my other car keyboard here. That's like really cool. So like, I do like car keyboards. Again, hopefully getting the McLaren one eventually when we can get it to production. But this is my Keybay Tech W70. This is a Toyota AE86 themed keyboard from the anime Initial D. So you have like different accents. These are the text that's on the side of the car in the show. You have the license plate. Back here you have just different accents from the car and the hood ornament, which is really cool. So that's like the model of the particular car. But I'll show you what makes this keyboard just completely amazing and always like fan favorite when I take it to meets. Let me just watch what happens when I plug it in. We have the freaking tail lights from the Toyota. That is just super, super sick. So like I love car keyboards, and like it literally has tail lights of a Toyota AE86. So another cool car that I really like. Just I love Initial D, and like it's really cool seeing like those Japanese cars like really showcase font prominently in that show. That's a really cool board. So definitely love the Keybay Tech W70. Really, really, really sick board. So love it, love it, love it. So let's check this last row, and then I want to diagnose that. So let's just make sure my last row is working just fine. So let me go into it. All right. M is not working like I would want it. Okay, letter M is faulty. So we're going to fix the letter M on this. I feel like I'm in Sesame Street saying all these stinking letters we got to learn. So yeah, that's super sick. So we'll get that one. All right, so letter M is being faulty. So it's that fourth one in. So that one. This switch right here being completely faulty. Again, that's what happens. You got switches that are like 40 something years old. So we're going to get that one in and get that good to go. So give me a sec. Let this guy wait for that red light to come off, and then we're good to desolder the switch. All right. All right. Oh. Yeah, that switch right there. Come on, it's heating up. Cool. We're just waiting. Oh yeah, that red light. It's waiting. It's taking its time. But yeah, it's a really good time, folks. So we'll see. So. All right, come on, people. There we go. Really good time. There we go. Yeah, there we. Oh, let's. Cool. All right, got that desoldered. So let's get more responsive switch in there, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let's get my letter M right there. So we're going to get that M key. Come on, Google. And it's the part of the process when we do this live on stream, folks. You get to see everything unedited, uncensored. I mean, we're basically keyboards gone wild here. It's a good time, everybody. So there we go. Cool. Pull out that switch plate, and then we're going to swap switches. Nice. I hope the sound test is good, dude. So there we go. Cool. All right, another switch plate, another dead switch we're going to replace. Give me a second. Nice. Yeah, we'll get a good sound test on this one. We just want to get this out of here. So there we go. Cool. All right, let's put this switch together really quick. Just want to throw it to the side. I'll probably have to swap a switch plate on this one. No, Google. There we go. So. Yeah. I feel you on that. I'll definitely check that one out once I get this build done. Give me a second, folks. There we go. Cool. All right, let's get another switch in here and solder that one in, and let's see if that fixes it. So that's part of the fun of Alps. It is a slow process, but that's what I think makes this so rewarding. Is working on these boards. I really enjoy it, and this is going to go to a good home. The client who's getting this board is really cool. So we got that switch, that M soldered in. Let's see if we get a more responsive switch that I like. And then, oh yeah, there we are good. We are money. Okay. Just making sure everything is good. Well, let's just. Okay. So we're going to swap out this switch as well. It's not being as responsive as I would like it. So we're going to swap that one out as well. So again, I just want to make sure that this thing's 100% foolproof. And again, some of these just have faulty switch plates. It just happens when you have 40-year-old switches. So again, I just want to make sure that this board is 100% foolproof and 100% good. Again, the person who's paying for this board, they're paying good money for this board. And I want to make sure when they get it, this thing is perfect and there's nothing wrong with it. So we're going to let the Hako gun heat up, and we're going to pull this switch out as well and get a fresh switch in there and just make sure that's 100% foolproof. And then we'll figure out what the hell is going on with that switch up here. Because that one's being weird. So, all right, cool. So you solder this. Give me a second. We had a little clog. Give me a second, folks. Yeah, we had something clog up. Look at that. My little solder gun got clogged up like it went to Taco Bell. Look at that, everybody. We got more friends on here. Welcome, friends. We're having a good time, everybody. So, let's pull that out. Cool. All right. Let's pull that switch out, folks. Just want to make sure that these switches are 100% foolproof and good. Alps are a very slow process. They are a labor of love. If anyone is interested in an Alps build, like if you don't want to build it yourself, you're just kind of intimidated by the restoration process, reach out to me. I'd be happy to build it. Yeah, dude. Nice, Jester. I'm super jealous, my man. Like, I wish my job was as fast as yours, but it's not, so we'll see. But, yeah, dude, I'm very jealous. Yeah, so... Alright, there we go. Yeah, it's all good. I know people are on here, so it's all good. This is a very slow and long process is how we do this, so it's all good. There we go. So I'll put that one to the side. So just want to get this last switch in, and then we're going to troubleshoot this switch up here. Really want to see what the heck is going on up there. And then we'll get ready to do keycaps and final assembly. Oh, dude, Jester, I'm so jealous, dude. That's like not fair, dude. I'm going to have like... probably like 30 of them. Jealous. Bruh. So jealous. So, cool. Yeah, Jester. I'm super jealous, my man. Yeah, Niku, what board are you dailying right at the moment? I'm curious, because I mean, I don't really have a daily driver. I have so many boards. I just kind of rotate through them daily. But, yeah, it's a good time, man. Like, I just... Oh, Parabolica? Hell yeah, dude. That board is awesome. I almost joined the group buy on it, but like I was tied up with so many 60% on the Alps side. Like I got a Frogmania AO3 Polaris, Hex 3C V2. I'm just kind of tied up on 60% right now. And like I said, I want an F260. So the Parabolica is sick. I might find it on Mech Market. Oh, dude, I freaking love Gateron Type Rs. Those are so freaking good. I have those in my boop. Like, where are they? So, I have Gateron Type Rs in my Boop Redux. I freaking love... Oh, you paid $235? God, I'm jealous. God, I'm so jealous. This is my Boop Redux with GMK Evil Dulk. So good. Well, it's funny. My buddy Jester, who's on here. Oh, man, you know how to China. I'm jealous. Yeah, you know how to China. Yeah, dude, those are the switches that my buddy... So the Gateron Type Rs are what I put in Jester's custom build. So he really liked those switches, which is really good. So I just want to double... So we're good here. So I want to double check this number 7 here. So it's been really kind of problematic. So I put in a bunch of switches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in the Matthias switch for number 7. Because these are new production switches. I know these switches work. Because we might have a faulty socket, which I'm not really looking forward to trying and fixing. So we're going to solder that in and see what the heck it is. Oh, dude, Jester, I love your board. That's probably, of all the boards I've had custom Cerakoted, that's probably my favorite. Like, that purple on your board is sick. Like, I definitely would love to get maybe one of my personal builds in the future done in that purple, because it is awesome. Like, that is such a good coating. And it took my Cerakote guy like a month to get that coating right. He said that he said it came out beautiful, but it was one of the harder coatings he's worked with. So yeah, so it's really cool. So yeah, Jester, if you're gonna jump off, my man, it's all good, dude. Thanks for dropping by. So we're gonna be on here for a while. All right, so let's see what's going on with this particular switch, and let's see what we got. So, all right, so let's reset. Okay, so the socket works. I just got oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you're good, dude. So the socket works. I think I just got back. I had 3 dead switches in a row go in this socket, so it is registering. So that's good. So nice thing about having Matthias. Also, if anyone's interested in doing Alps, and you don't want to deal with like the restoration and like the hassle that OG Alps are, you can do Matthias switches. Matthias is a really cool company. They're based out of Canada. When Alps Electric discontinued their keyboard division, they sold the license to Matthias, who are a Canadian-based company. So Matthias produces 3 Alps switches. They produce a clicky switch, which is what I have here. They produce a linear switch, and they produce a tactile switch. So it's really, really nice. So you can buy these switches. You can buy a pack of 200 of these for like $50 from Matthias. So it's really, really nice. So you get new production Alps switches that get you about 80 to 90% of the way of the sound and feel of Alps. Are they as good as OG Alps? No. But they're good enough. And if you really want to do Alps without doing all the complex restoration stuff and what I've been doing just now, they are a great way to get into Alps. You still have to source like an Alps PCB and an Alps plate and Alps keycaps. But most of the work in the Alps board are the actual switches. So if you can kill like half the work by going with Matthias, please do. They're awesome. Really, really recommend Matthias switches. So we're going to pull that Matthias switch out. Now that we know I don't have a dead socket, because I was really worried about a dead socket, because that would mean I can't ship this board out to the client on Monday. And I really want to get this to the client very quickly, because they're going to be waiting like probably 2 or 3 more weeks for the second build that we're doing, because the board's coming from Australia. So let's get this desoldered. Oh, we got to let it heat up. That would help. So, God, we've been on here for like 2.5 hours, people. God, we're hanging in there, friends. It's all good. Look at this. It's super cool. So, yeah, but Niku, I love that you have the Parabolica 60. That's a board I would love to add to my collection eventually. But like I said, it's not a board like I'm in a rush to get, because there's other stuff that's kind of on my priority list that I want to track down first, like an F260. Like I want to get like an F188, F284, a Frog 8K, things like that. So a GSKT00. Oh damn, something got clogged. Give me a second, folks. All right, give me a second. The machine is clogged. Give me a second. Why are we clogged? Okay, we have some sort of clog. Give me a second, folks. Gotta see where our clog is. So let's see. Yeah, so we gotta fix this machine. It's okay, we gotta clean it. It's okay. This is a fun machine to work with. No, don't got anything there. Alright. So that goes. Let's see, so. Ah, okay. So I mean, honestly, I think they're both very good boards, comparable boards. Like, I am personally biased to Geon. Like, I have a lot of Geon boards in my collection, and I plan to get more Geon boards. But the Parabolica board has a great design aesthetic. I think the people who ran it are just real. They have a philosophy in the keyboard world that I really like. Oh, yeah, and they're also, like you said, 2 very different price points. The F260 is almost $500 MSRP. Whereas the Parabolica is like half of that. But 2 great boards. Like, I have nothing bad to say about either. And I would honestly highly recommend both of them. Dude, MX Browns are like the end game switch. There we go. Okay, we're still clogged. Okay, that's not good. So give me a second. We're experiencing... Let me try one more thing in the chamber. So I'm going to put the Alps assembly to the side for right now. We got to work on this. So let me... Oh, look at all that smoke. Look at all that coming out. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's clogging this. So let's just see. So. Okay, well, there's part of the problem. Okay. Got that cleaned up. Oh, that's why. Okay. I know what my problem is. It's okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Everyone craps on the Browns because it's like a meme at this point because of like Glarsis and whatnot. But like MX Browns, if you like lube them and like mod them properly, like they're fine. Like I think like the board I did this morning was a cherry had Cherry MX Ergo clears in them. Like I think with Cherry switches, you really gotta mod them. You gotta spring swap them. You gotta lube them. You gotta film them. Once you modify stock Cherry switches, they're fantastic. Cherry switches unmodified from the factory, I think personally suck. Like in my Kohaku, I had to lube the switches, film them, spring swap them, and they sound awesome. So that's just the thing I think with Cherry kind of sucks. You have to put in the work for Cherry if you want like Cherry switches. But like especially if someone's not a fan of like lubing or anything like that, I don't recommend Cherry switches. Oh, nice. Ooh. I mean, yeah, HMX is fun. Like, I'm a big fan of the clacky sound profile, and that's like HMX's trademark at this point. I have several builds that have HMX switches in them, and they're freaking awesome, and I have a ton of HMX switches on hand. Like, that Porsche build I have has HMX Gulf Oil, just to kind of go with the whole Porsche Gulf Oil theme. All right, there we go. That's a lot better. All right. All right, there we go. I think we're gonna we got that good. So let's get it going. All right, let's pull my Matthias switch out. All right, we're gonna have to disassemble this little puppy. Dang it! Don't like disassembling Matthias switches because they're kind of a pain in the ass, but we'll see. All right, so we're getting there, folks. And my folks on YouTube, welcome, friends. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Okay. There we go. I got the Matthias out. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I have Nixies too. So, like, crap. Let me go my, give me a second. No, I don't have it plugged in, but give me a second, folks. Let me go into it. So, like, my, what am I putting? I gotta go to my keyboard collection spreadsheet. Yes, I have a keyboard collection spreadsheet, people. My collection has become so big and unruly with, like, between keycaps, switches, boards, PCBs. Like, I had to create a spreadsheet to keep track of all the stuff I have. What am I putting my Nixies in? It's one of the upcoming builds. So, I'm putting it in my seal. So, I got the Vertex seal on group buy. So I'm planning on putting my Nixies in it. So we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna put in a switch, and hopefully that number 7 works. We know the socket works. I just really want to be done with the soldering, and I actually want to scrub this PCB and clean it up on the back, just so it's a little more clean. So we'll get some isopropyl alcohol and clean that. Yeah, but Nixies are dope. I freaking love Nixies, man. Like, they're such a cool switch. Okay, here's that one. Okay, cool. All right, so got that 7 soldered in. Let's see if it actually works. Let's see if it actually works, friends. Because I really want to be done with soldering for the night. So let me reset everything. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, I'm just doing some testing, everybody. Let's hold up. Yeah. I mean, that's the benefit of hot swap, but just testing this 7 really quick. It's coming, it's registering. Okay, hold up. Okay. Let me go into Vial really quick. Alright. I'm gonna open up Vial. I want to test it. I think we're good. I just want to open up Vial really quick and see how that's gonna go. Give me a second. I'm gonna just do my layout. We are an H88 PCB on this one. Cool. Let's go to my matrix tester. Backspace. Okay, we're almost there, folks. All right, I think we are done soldering. That is freaking fantastic. So, let me show you guys this build. So this is a custom client commissioned Alps build. So we are essentially going through and doing a board like this. So this is a really cool, this is an internal assembly for a GeonWorks Frog TKL. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna get some isopropyl alcohol, and we're gonna scrub the back of this PCB. There's just a lot of like residue from the soldering process on here, but we are done soldering. So I'm gonna, before we continue, I wanna clean up my soldering equipment, just so I can get that stuff cooled down before I put it away for the evening. So we're gonna kind of take a little bit of a pause. You can kind of see how I clean out the desoldering gun. So I'm gonna put my spool of solder away. We're done with that. So that's good. So we are done soldering, people. We made it. Look at that. So I'm gonna put the PCB assembly to the side for right now because we're gonna focus on my Hacko right now. So let's put my tools to the side and let's get this puppy cleaned up. So I'll kind of walk y'all through how I clean this thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crank the heat up. Again, top heat tops out about 500 degrees Celsius or about 930 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna let that heat up. That's gonna melt a lot of the solder that may be stuck in the nozzle, and that's what we're gonna get that cleaned. So this is a tool you just really want to maintain very well. Because overall, this is a tool that's very expensive and it's very finicky and it gets dirty very quickly. So it's just a tool you want to maintain effectively and properly and clean it after every time you use it. So we're just waiting for all that heat to build up and get all that solder out of there. So we're just kind of sucking solder. I'm going to stick this tool, this is a little drill bit that we're going to stick in the nozzle. Just kind of get anything that's kind of stuck in there. So anything that's stuck in there. So I also wanted like the tip. Sometimes solder gets stuck on there, so I just use this little steel wool, and that cleans off my tip, getting all the crap off of it. So that's really nice. So we're still heating up. This thing's going to be almost again about 500 degrees Celsius for my Europeans, almost about 930 degrees Fahrenheit for my good old Americans. So we're just letting all that stuff heat up. We're fully hot. Just sucking anything out in the nozzle. So we're going to take off the main nozzle assembly here, and we're going to clean the inner nozzle assembly. I'm going to take off the lead, the little chamber, and we're going to stick this through and clean that out. All right, cool. Just making sure it's nice and clear. And I just do that just to make sure there's nothing stuck in here. You can see how freaking hot that is. Again, this is like 1,000 degrees. So pretty crazy. So, but yeah, we just heat that. I just put it on max heat and just clean stuff out and just make sure it's all good to go before I put it away, because it'll probably be a few days before I use this tool again. So look at that. So that's pretty clean. We'll clean the chamber really quick, and then we should be good to go to let this thing, unplug it, let it cool down, and then we should be good. So we're done with this. So I'm gonna turn its heat down. So when I use it next time, it doesn't go warm up to 1,000 degrees, and then we're gonna turn it off. So we're gonna unplug this, put it to the side, put it in its case, let this thing cool down before I close the case and put it away. That thing is extremely hot. I don't want to burn myself. So I'm gonna put these other tools associated with the Hacko away, just so we can kind of deal with that. So perfect. So now I just want to go through the chamber one last time. I want to get out any additional residue, just so this is nice and clean when I use it next time. So that's just kind of what we do. So I want to get the solder gets stuck on the sides of this thing. So we're just cleaning off that solder, just making sure any little solder residue is not stuck in here. I like this thing to be nice and clean. Again, this solder tool is very much my workhorse. especially with like Alps harvesting from old boards. When I got to desolder a board, like this tool definitely puts in the work in terms of my tool rotation for building keyboards and just kind of working on them and servicing these boards. So it's pretty good. So I want to make sure that this tool is well maintained, so I can continue using it for a very long time. So again, if you're looking for, like, if you're going to get into solder boards, I definitely recommend getting good soldering equipment. Get a good soldering iron. Get a good desoldering tool as well. So it just makes life a lot easier working with solder boards, especially if you plan to have a lot of solder boards, or heck, even get into like custom commission boards. This is just a tool that makes life like 1,000 times easier. So this thing's all clean. So we're going to put the chamber back in, and we're going to put this to the side and let it cool down. So we're pretty much done with all the soldering equipment. So I'm going to kind of clear my desk, take all my soldering gear off, and put it to the side because we are done soldering. So I'm just going to give my desk a little bit more space so we can kind of work through things. So there we go. We are done with soldering equipment, which is really, really nice. So, all right, that is fantastic. So, all right, we have a switch over here we're going to put over in the switch graveyard. So, there we go. Awesome. So, let me just do a few more things just to kind of clean up and housekeeping on the desk, and then we're going to start doing final assembly on this board. We're going to clean it up a little bit. Let me just double check how my Tai switches go together again. So, give me a minute. Let me put this Matthias switch back together so we can put it back in the library. Alright, cool. Alright. Give me a second, folks. Alright, just gotta get these Matthias switches in here. Give me a second. So it's a slow process. Just gotta get these Matthias in here. There we go. Awesome. Let's put the switch in. Come on. Oh, they're killing. Ooh, I got another person. Okay. I don't know what I did. So what's stream viewers? Welcome, I guess. Welcome, fast campaigner. Yeah, weird shit, weird stuff, but it's okay. Just getting this assembled. Give me a second, folks. And there we go. There we go. Got it reassembled, so. Okay, let's figure out this really quick. Give me a second, folks. Let me just put this one away. So we're just kind of cleaning up. Okay, we're almost there, folks. Oh, bro. Give me a second. Didn't put them all away. It's okay. All right, there we go. All right, let's put these switches in here. Okay, kind of done there. Sweet. All right, we're getting there, folks. We're just doing some housekeeping over here just so we can work on some stuff that's really good and relevant to this board. So let's pull the board back. All right, so here is our assembly. I'm going to take a picture of this for the client. And there we go. All right, so let's get the keycap set out. And we're going to go from there. So I'll kind of walk y'all through keycap selection. So we're going with Tai Hao. Tai Hao's a really cool keycap manufacturer. They've been around since like the 1960s. And they actually were an original producer of Alps keycaps. So we're going to be doing Tai Hao on this. So this is Tai Hao White on black. So a really nice keycap set. I've done a few commissions with Tai Hao keycaps, and they're fantastic. So I really enjoy using these keycaps. Really, really nice switches. Keycaps. So Tai Hao makes some good stuff, and it's cool that they make modern production keycaps for Alps switches. One thing about Alps switches, you're kind of really limited in keycap selection. It's not like Cherry MX where you could have every color or design imaginable. You're really, really limited on the Alps side in terms of keycaps. So like, the fact that Tai Hao makes new production Alps switches is fantastic. So I really, really love that they do that, which is really nice. Just makes it a really, really awesome opportunity for people to get into Alps. And they have some good keycaps. They're only making around 3 production keycap sets right now. But I think they're really good sets for what they are. So like, I have a couple of the Tai Hao sets on my boards and they look fantastic. So I haven't used this set in particular on any of my boards just yet. I will eventually. I just need to find the right board, the right combination for it. And we'll definitely do a build with this keycap set, but it's really, really nice. So just putting the keycaps, and the character of the board is kind of coming out now. So it's really nice having those switches be there and be really accentuated by this particular board. So that's what we're doing, getting these going. So we're getting the character of this board to come out. It's really coming together now. So I really, really like how this board's shaping up. So like, I think this is looking really, really nice. Cool. So this is really nice, and like I said, I'm not trying to find cheap viewers, guys. I'm just trying to have people who genuinely want to be here and genuinely want to watch. So again, everyone starts somewhere, but we're here to have fun at the end of the day. I'm just doing this to spread the information and just to have fun with the community, and to meet really nice people. So I am cool with whatever, folks. So we're coming through. So there we go. It's coming together, folks. I really like how this board, this black on white set just looks amazing. Look at that. Oh, that's going to sound so nice when we get this in the case. I love this board. So I love the Frog. It's probably one of my favorite keyboards. Yeah, that is beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, it's coming along, folks. I really enjoy it. So I love how this board's coming together. It came out really, really good. Look at that. Oh. Okay, give me a second. Where's my other one we're looking for? There we go. There we go. That's my one right there. Okay, let's put our arrow keys on. There we go. Awesome, awesome, friends. All right. Let's put our print screen, scroll lock, pause. Look at these. Oh. This is beautiful, people. I love it. Look at that. Oh man, that looks beautiful. All right, let me get. I have the other keycaps here. We gotta get. So give me a second. I gotta pull them off. I think they're in another box. Give me a second, folks. So I'm still here, folks. I just gotta pull. I think these other bottom row modifier keys are in another bill. There we go. Yeah, my keys. I had to find them. These other keycaps weren't in the box. They were somewhere else. It's just my... Oh my gosh. That looks amazing. Alright. Oh my god. That looks sick. Look at that black on white set. That is awesome. So these are Tai Hao black and white with orange Alps. So that just looks like Amazing. Look at that, people. Look at that. Look at that. So we got the Karolus logo right there. So I want to do one last test. So now that we have keycaps on, it's a little bit easier to test everything. So let's do a test of this particular board. Oh yeah, look at that. That is sick. So let's open up Vial really quick, and we're going to do a test of this particular board. So give me a second there, buddy. Thank you, Vial. Open up. Let's get my layout to H87. Sorry, H88, because we're F13 on this one. And let's check my key map. Perfect. Everything looks properly programmed. Let's go to my matrix tester, and we're going to test. Arrow keys work. Home cluster is good. To the bottom row. Really good. That's rose good. That's not good. Okay, hold up. Okay. All right. For the most part, everything seems fine. I want to go into VIA really quick and try and just double check everything's good in VIA. Let me go to my switch tester really quick. All right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that one's good. Awesome. Cool. Alt, space, alt, cool. Looking good. Okay, S is being weird. So we may have to swap out S again. It's not being as responsive as I would like it. So I'm going to make a note of the letter S. I'm just going to get a note really quick. So S. So S is being weird. Okay. Probably swap out S. Okay. Brackets are good. P. Letter I is being weird too. So letter I, that's a little being wonky. Huh. I guess I thought we were done with soldering, but we got 2 switches we got to test. So, well, that's fun. We got to keep going, folks. So, hey, that's part of Alps. They are, again, they are weird. So I'm going to pull these keycaps off. So we need to do S and we need to do the letter I. So those 2 switches are just, they're not registering the way I would want. They're still kind of registering, but it's not this the responsiveness that they should be. So I got to pull out the soldering gear again. Dang it. I guess I acted too late. I spoke too soon. It's all good, people. That's part of the process, and that's why it's fun being live on stream, because you get to see the ins and outs of what goes on with, again, building these boards. So that's just kind of the fun process. So we have letter S and we have the letter I we got to fix. So I'm going to remove the keycaps just on the side too, just because my switch puller gives them a little more of an easy access. But, oh man, yeah. Another thing too about Alps keycaps, they're very tight. So you really don't want to be swapping them out very often, just because they're so tight. But yeah, we're doing those 2 switches right there. So let's get the desoldering gun. I cleaned it. Oh man, I'll have to clean it again at the end of the night. Fun. That's okay. So, all right, folks. Let's do letter S first. Right. Yeah. Letter S. Do letter S first. So we're heating up. And we're going to go from there. So let's see what we got. All right, come on, come on. We're waiting for that red light to come off. That'll tell me we're ready to like start doing stuff. So, there we go. Cool. Got those two done. That's awesome. Now we want to see letter I. Cool. There we go. Cool. All right, I'm going to pull those two switches out. And we're going to get to it, folks. So again, we're just making this work. Again, I got my massive stash of orange Alps. So let's pull these out. Again, like I said, folks, I want to make sure that this board is 100% correct when we do it for the client. That's my big thing. This client's paying good money for this board, and I want to make sure that it is 100% correct. That's kind of the big thing that I want to make sure of. So let's pull my switch plate out. That's probably my faulty part. Cool. All right, we got that one pulled out. Let's pull out this one. And then we'll put in some switches and see what we can do. Come on. Let's, oh yeah, I gotta fire up the soldering iron. So we are doing it, folks. Hold up. Cool. There we go. There's my spring. All right, let's pull this out. There we go. Cool. All right, got those two switches pulled out. So now we're gonna put in some fresh switches, and let's make sure I haven't used these based on the pins. Not that one. Hold up. There we go. Cool. All right, let's put those in. All right, folks. We're just gonna see. It very much is a process. So Alps take patience and they take time, but the end result is going to be absolutely amazing. So that's kind of the big thing I really love about these switches and about these boards. Okay, got that one. Let's do this one. Cool. All right. All right, got those in. Let's see. Let's see if those register a little bit better. In the switch tester, because I was kind of concerned with that. So let's just see. Let's open up VIA again. All right, cool. All right, folks. So let me just open up VIA really quick, and I'm just gonna go to their switch tester, and we are gonna try. So, oh, that's better. Look at that. I think we are victorious. And then we're gonna do. This is funny. So look, everybody, my dumb jokes. Let's see this. Look, I owe you. There's my dad joke for the night, folks. Thank you. I know. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I had to do that. I just saw that. I'm like, oh, I have a dumb joke I can do with the crowd. So there we go, folks. Look at that. So let me just go into my switch tester in both Via and Vial, and I want to just double check that everything is working good. So we're just, again, what I'm doing is I'm just double checking everything is working. And then print. Yeah, print works. That's good. Spacebar is great. All right. Cool. All right, we are officially done with soldering. That PCB is good. So we are done with soldering. We're gonna get ready for final assembly. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup on the back of the PCB, but this set is done. That came out freaking gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that set. So that is awesome. So those are Orange Alps. So fantastic board. So let me just put these switches, these two faulty switches, back together and stick them back in here. Again, they will get fixed, but yeah, we're on the home stretch, people. So I think we can just do final assembly and we should be good and I'll just clean up off stream, but we should be good, folks. That's pretty good. So let me put these Alps switches back together. So like I said, I've harvested and restored thousands of Alps switches at this point, so like I've gotten pretty good at reassembling these puppies. So there we go. Awesome. Cool. All right, put the Alps to the side. All right, that's pretty good. So let me put my tools for those away. Yeah, let me just put those away. Yeah, I gotta clean up the soldering. Oh, sorry about that, folks. So I gotta clean up the soldering equipment really quick again, just because again I don't want to leave like solder on this stuff. So let me just clean up everything again. So it's just how it goes with this equipment. You want to take care of it so it lasts for a long time. So let me pull up my Hakko FR301 and we're gonna do a little bit. We're just gonna go through the cleaning process again. I only sucked up a couple switches on this one, but I just want to do my due diligence and being thorough cleaning this particular tool. So we're gonna turn it on and we're gonna crank it all the way up to about 500 degrees Celsius. So I'll let that kind of warm up and we'll get ready to start cleaning some stuff. So yeah, so just gonna clean off some stuff while it's warming up. Cool. Give me a second, folks. Cool. All right, we gotta let her heat up. So still heating up, folks. This thing's gonna go to like again like 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are on the home stretch of this board. I really want to see this board come to fruition. I'm gonna clean off my nozzles. And then pull off my nozzle really quick. There we go. I'm going to dump the little chamber of stuff. There's a nice little mountain there. Cool. Yeah. So cleaning up the chamber. So it's all good. So it's just doing proper maintenance on this little machine, but it's a good tool. You take care of it. Like it's a workhorse for me. The Hakko 301 FR301. So really good tool. I really love it. If you can get one, please do. It's a tool that I absolutely support and recommend. So, God, we've been under for over 3 hours, folks. It's crazy. So, we're almost there. So, let's just get these soldering tools put away. Put them off to the side. There we go. All right, folks, let me put these to the side. All right. I think we're ready to do final assembly on this board. So let's do that. So let me get the case. So again, this is a GeonWorks Frog TKL. So I'm going to put the case to the side for right now because we want to focus on doing the tadpoles. So let's pull these out and I'll kind of show you how the Frog TKL actually mounts in its case. So we're going to flip this upside down and there's these little tadpoles. They're like these little rubber parts, and that's actually going to do like an isolated top mount on this board. So there's several of them we got to do. Awesome. So we are getting there, folks. Almost there. Come on. Yeah, some of those are these are a little more stubborn than others to get in there, but they will go. All right, so we're almost there, almost ready for final assembly, folks. So it's been a long stream, but it's been a fun one. You get to kind of see the process of Alps, folks. These are not straightforward builds. These are very involved builds, a lot of troubleshooting, but the ultimate end result is really, really nice. Alps have turned into one of my personal favorite switches. And types of keyboards to build, so like I really, really enjoy them. There's just nothing else like them, and especially on the MX side, or even like getting in like Topret or other stuff like that. So these are just really, really good boards. I really enjoy them. So we're gonna put the Frog assembly back right there, and then we're gonna screw this puppy together. All right, look at that. Look at that's looking clean. Let me get my tool. Let me get my screwdriver. So, yeah. So, let me get my little screwdriver, get my bit on there, and then we'll screw this board together. So, it's gonna be sick. So, cool. Awesome. Got a screw holding it together, so we're just going to kind of put these middle screws in. Awesome. There we go. Look at that, folks. So, all right. So, almost there. So, we're getting close to final assembly. All right, let's put these little feetsies on. Another thing about Geon, they probably do like the best non-detachable feet for these boards. Like Geon, I love that you don't do adhesive feet. So, there's that one, and then we have this bottom one that says designed by GeonWorks. So, look at that. So, and we have a Frog TKL. Look at this beauty. This is an orange Alps Frog TKL. Look at that beauty. So we have orange Alps Tai Hao Keycaps. And yeah, that's beautiful. Let's do, I want to do a test. Not specifically a sound test just yet, but I do want to figure out how we're going to do this. So I just want to plug her in and double check that, recheck that everything is registering, and then we'll do a quick sound test, and then we'll get on out of here, folks. Again, those of you who have been on stream this afternoon, evening, or wherever the heck you are in the world, thank you. But this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this. Hello, friends. So that's what we're doing. We've been here since like 5 o'clock. God, it's crazy. So, all right, let me open up Via again, and I'll also do Vile. Let's go to the switch tester, and we're going to test it. So let's see. All right, I'm going to smooth this over to the side really quick. There we go. Give me a second. All right, so. All right, those are good. Yeah, that's really good, really good. Awesome. Right. I think we are good. I'm going to do one last test on Vile. And then I think this board is pretty much ready to be packed up and sent to the client. So this is awesome. I mean, I'll take some pictures of it tomorrow or probably later tonight. But let's just see how this is going. So, alright. So everything. Let's make sure we have a layout that's proper. H87, H88. Perfect. Matrix tester. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we are good to go, folks. So I'm going to do one. I'm going to move my microphone down, do a quick little sound test, and then we're going to be signing off out of here, folks. So let me bring the microphone down. All right, there we go. All right, so got the microphone here, so sorry you're blocking the way, but I want to do a little bit of a sound test. And yeah, then we'll get on out of here. If my folks who have been on here on stream, thank you. If you've been here for part of it, the whole time of it, or the people who've just kind of dropped in throughout the evening, thank you. So let's do a sound test. Alright, just move my microphone back up to where it belongs, like it out of frame. There we go. Thank you, microphone. So, alright folks, that's pretty much it for the stream, folks. So we have a Geon a Geon Frog TKL with Tai Hao White on black and orange Alps. Before we get on out of here, I do want to show y'all those beautiful orange Alps. So we're going to take off a few keycaps just to kind of showcase that what we are looking at are orange Alps. So there we go, folks. Those are the stars of the show. We have orange Alps. So look at those babies. The entire board has orange Alps. So fantastic build. And I really enjoy it. And I know the client is absolutely going to love this board. So again, everybody, thank you for joining. And